And we are live. Hey everybody, this is the Finer Print. This is my very first stream. I'm here with Dade Murphy, or Zero Cool as he's known. And yeah, this is just a impromptu stream. I just wanted to check things out, see how it works. We're gonna have Laughing Over Ogre and Conscious Caracal joining us pretty soon. So yeah, Zero, what's up?
Hello, Finer. This is Dade Murphy, the Zero Cool. Just hello to everybody out there. I decided not to show my face today because I'm a little tired and I look like I'm drunk, but I'm not. I just get I work late nights, so I look like I'm dragging. But thank you for having me on.
Yeah, man, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
So this is a very impromptu,
Yep.
very short stream, people. We're not going to go 5 or 6 hours because one of the things I think people don't realize is that for every hour that a stream goes on, there has to be storage space, which is why I remember YouTube videos being originally under 10 minutes.
Yep. I remember those days.
And there was a reason for that. It wasn't because they were trying to censor you as they like they're trying to do now.
Mm-hmm.
It was because, well, it takes space to store stuff. I mean, on an external hard drive, if I convert something over from
You're muted. Dade, you're muted.
fucking how did that? Oh, okay. Well, I realized what happened. That's a nice little thing to know that if I hit my space bar and mute myself, fuck that. What I was going to before my screen decided to, because it's on a timer to save power, which I'm changing. What I was saying was originally YouTube videos were only 10 minutes max, and that was really just because it wasn't because they didn't like you or they wanted to censor you or not hear anything you have to say. It was really because it was limits of space. And I think, honestly, that's one of the things that YouTube has gotten itself in trouble with is a storage, because it takes server farms to store these stuffs, to store everything.
Yep, exactly right.
And, external hard drives are nice, but they're limited space, so on and so forth. So that's why they kept it 10 minutes. And so for every time we have an hour or more, which I've seen people go on 8 to 10, hour live streams, I'm like, you realize how much shit this takes YouTube to store? And why they get pissy about stuff, and why they have to hunt down advertisers, and then why they have to start purging videos, and why they have to say it's a time restriction or it's a quality of video restriction. It's not because they don't like people. It's not because they're not doing business. It's because it takes too much to store this stuff. And this isn't going to be forever either. I've started backing stuff up since day one, since I was started watching YouTube about 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those files have degraded, but they're only meant to be on a disk for so long, which is why you move it over to one format to the same format on another copy of an external hard drive, and so on and so forth. It's not meant to last forever, people. And when you get some people, like me, I'm talking right now, and we're not going to do this for probably. I'm not going to be on here for more than an hour easily, but it takes up space, and that costs time, that costs money. So and that's a very small, minute thing with what's going on with YouTube. I spoke on Logical Lion's stream yesterday, and I pretty much showed my face, and I told everybody off that I wanted to tell off. And you can find that under Logical Lion. I think it's something like, it's called "What's Happening to YouTube," or "This is the Future of YouTube," or something. And I talk about choice.
I tuned into that, yeah.
And I talk about choice. Well, sorry to say, people, but when you are a business, and I'm not defending YouTube here, not even remotely. It's strictly logistical. When you're running a business and you have to store things, it costs money to store them. From the actual server farm to the places that protect the server farms from the natural elements. So don't get pissy if YouTube does things a certain way for them to make money, to stay afloat, to pay the people they need to pay, and then hopefully not overpay people who don't deserve it. Well, I mean, that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's not so much about whether or not they can store videos or anything like that. That's fine. I understand the argument for that perfectly. It's very sound. Any company in their right mind would do something like that. I agree with that. What my problem is overreach when it comes to telling us do this or else. I mean, again, understand they're a private company, they can do whatever the fuck they want. I get that. But this company, this platform, YouTube, was built by the creators, not the framework, not the, you know, the website, but the content that exists on this website that made it a household name. You go anywhere and you ask someone, oh, did you see something, you know, oh, I'll look it up on YouTube. You know, it's become almost second nature to say, oh yeah, I'll Google it, you know.
Yeah. And
So
that's kind of what I was talking about logical line with, in a way. We were talking about Band-Aid. Now, technically, Johnson & Johnson owns the Band-Aid trademark, but most people know adhesive strips as Band-Aid. We don't go saying, oh, I need to go get some adhesive strips. We say, I have to go get some Band-Aids. And Johnson & Johnson, who YouTube, you could probably, for as much as their last ad, Johnson & Johnson, you done fucked up. But their business practices have been sound for well over 100 years. When somebody says, oh, I have to go get a Band-Aid, they may buy the Walmart brand, they may buy the Walgreens brand or whatever, CVS brand, and they do make their own adhesive strips. We call them Band-Aids anyway. Johnson & Johnson's not getting pissed off that somebody says, oh, Walmart is selling Band-Aids. Well, they're selling ours and theirs. Oh, that's fine. 99% of the time when a person says, I need some Band-Aids, they're going to go out and get the Band-Aid brand. They don't care what the price is.
yep, it's the same with refrigerator. I mean, the original, yeah, exactly.
And that's where YouTube's fucking up. They're and I do need to correct you. Well, I not say correct. That's an improper term. I would like to amend your statement.
Yeah,
The people that created YouTube were the people that, you know, started the website, did the framework, and then they invited people to say, come to our business and start uploading your videos, and we can have a viable product here to show advertisers and gain revenue that way. And so what happened is the people that created it sold it to Google.
right.
And Blip TV did the same thing. If anybody remembers Blip TV, that was on for about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I remember.
They did the same thing. So don't think YouTube's if it's all about people making money, they're selling it to the biggest bidder. And Google, which I went on a rant about yesterday, hey, Google, you can go screw yourselves, because you're not the only search engine out there. Yahoo, for as much as people don't use it that I'm aware of, it's still being used. And by the way, there is a competitor of yours that kicks your butt 5 ways to Sunday called Bing, with a much more reliable search engine, because they aren't editing and censoring the crap out of things like you are. And Bill Gates, by the way, is not a conservative. He is an uber liberal, and he always has been, though.
Yeah.
But he's also a very shrewd business person, and he knows that he's going to do things his way, but he's also going to give people what they want. And that's why Microsoft has done so damn well for the past 30-some years.
Well,
easily
40
years.
That and them stealing pretty much every patent on the planet, the same as Apple did. So
yeah, and you know, that's just the way it goes. People thought stuff, but there's also some, and I'm not going to badmouth Apple or Microsoft here, but they did basic business tactics. They said, some guy came up with the program, we're going to pay you $5,000 for it, and then we're going to own the licensing rights, and then we're going to make a couple million off of it. That's fine. That's legal business. That's the person who signed over the patent rights to the programs. You know, that's on them. But don't be blaming Microsoft or Apple for this. George Lucas did the same shit, because he's like, yeah, I just want to get my movie made, and if it flops, I'll go do something else. But if it makes it big, I want the licensing, commercial rights, and I want the toy rights. I want the product rights, which, you know, Fox, yeah, you were stupid enough, but, you know, Alan Ladd Jr. knew what was going on, so he got a nice little slice of that pie. And so, yeah, so there's that kind of thing too. And so it's not all bad business. It's just how well you treat it is a business, plain and simple, but it's how well you treat who you're doing business with. And what YouTube is, and since I did all my very nasty ranting stuff with Logical Line yesterday, I'm going to be very cordial and say, YouTube, you are genuinely screwing up right now by trying to tell people what they can and can't watch, when your platform is designed to allow people to have differing opinions. Now, I am not one for bad mouthing somebody and starting little proxy wars and having confrontational issues. If somebody doesn't like me, that's great. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I've seen the messes that go on with Onision versus whoever, and it's just kind of like, you know, he's got his butt handed to him 5 ways from Sunday. In fact, I know some people don't. I personally like Jeff Holiday. I like him as a person. I like his format and what he does.
He's okay.
Yeah, and it's again, everybody has that choice. They have the different, you know, it's like Neapolitan ice cream. We get chocolate, vanilla, and vanilla and strawberry. We can have the 3 different flavors. We can have 2 out of the 3 in any way, whatever.
No, there's only one flavor, and it's vanilla.
Shut up.
All right, Ogre and Conscious Caracal joined us. Hi guys, welcome.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Thank you for you were the one who gave me the first chance to stream, so I thought it was only proper to invite you over. And Conscious, man, I love your content, man. Welcome.
Thanks a lot. Hey, I just finished some work, and I'm gonna relax by discussing like frustrating politics. Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, and here we were talking about ice cream and flavors, and now we're gonna get into all this serious shit.
Fuck,
Thanks,
I missed
guys.
that.
Yeah, you did. Thanks, guys.
Caracal's content is so good, I just put his videos up on my channel.
Yeah, okay, it's just like, nah, why should I create any content if there's already this content to promote?
Yeah, I thought you'd like it.
And we also have, or we had Irate Bear in the chat. I don't know if he's still there, but hey, Bear, welcome. Thank you for dropping by. I appreciate it.
Finer Print, can you put the link to the watch page in the side chat?
Oh, sure. Hold on just a second. You guys go out and go ahead and talk.
Cool. But on a more non-serious note, how's things on your side of the pond, Ogre and Dade?
Crazy over here with politics and whatnot. They just impaneled.
Yeah, but just like that, no, man. We're gonna talk enough politics, just like just in your personal life.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I had a family business to take care of. Papa Cool's doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Had to take the car into the shop. You know, shit happens. It is what it is, and I've got to walk 3.5 miles today to return this big old extension cord to my parents' house, because apparently I was working on my car for so long that I forgot to turn over the engine, and I had to boost the fucking car battery, and then I got to go to the gym. But it's fine.
What specific part of your car were you working on?
CV axles. It's a front-wheel drive vehicle, so CV axles exist in most every car. Depending if it's front wheel, rear wheel, or all wheel, they're all there. So fun shit.
I had to do some work on my car as well just this morning to check, because I was driving on some dirt roads a few days ago, so I had to check my tires and check just if everything is not just too shaken up, I guess.
Make sure you didn't drive over an aardvark or something.
Potholes, that's all there is to it, people.
Fuck, dude, driving in South Africa, you pop the hood and you find like a snake in there, a dead snake or something.
You know, I'd rather have a dead snake in there than deal with fucking potholes every 5 feet.
You guys get a lot of wildebeest or something like that, Conscious?
A few months ago, we actually had a headline where a community, because the pothole fixes from the government was so bad there, they had this huge pothole, and the pothole had been there for a year, so they celebrated its birthday. It had a cake and everything.
Yeah, you see, that's what kind of kills me there, Conscious, is in the Quad Cities and in southern eastern cities in Iowa, there are a lot of old roads here that have been covered up with cement, and now they're going with blacktop, which that doesn't last as long as people think. But they're the old bricks, and you could drive the fuck out over those every day of the week with an 18-wheeler, and those bricks won't crack because they're bricks. And the way that they're laid out, they're not a solid piece of material. They already have the spaces between the bricks, which relieve the pressure. And so it takes really 50+ years for your bricks in your street to wear down. But they said, no, we're going to cover these up. People don't want to drive their cars on brick roads. I'm like, I'll take the brick roads any day. They last longer. But, you know, and then, of course, we avoid potholes. But, again, what do I know?
Well, I mean, I live near Philadelphia, and there's a place called Germantown here, and it's all cobblestone. Now, I don't know if anyone here ever driven on cobblestone before, but that is a bitch to your tire.
I've seen cobblestone, not really. Haven't driven on it for like long, extensive periods of time, just quickly in like people's driveways and shit.
It's absolutely horrid because it's been there from like turn of 2 last centuries or so. It's been
in the late 1800s easily.
Yeah. It's
yeah, but that's interesting that you say that. You think about if it's been there since the late 1800s easily, you've gone from horse-drawn carriages to the automobile. And rubber itself, and we're not going to talk about the entire history of the product, but think about what tires have been made of since they first came out to what they are now. And the ingredients are different. So the cobblestone, like the brick, is one material that stays the same for the finite time that it's on the planet. Once it's produced and, you know, it's put into place. We've gone from basically wood and metal, you know, circular objects, which we would call tires on the carts and carriages, to pure rubber, to which was what originally cars had, to inflated tires, to the rubber mixes with the other material. I don't know what tires. I'm not a tire fanatic, but I know that it's not all rubber. They are mixed in with other ingredients now. And if somebody finds that out in the chat or leaves a note, say, hey, this is what tires are made of, great. But that's my point. We've gone from this substance to whatever we put it on in our wheels now, which is not all rubber, you know, pure rubber or remanufactured to the point. And they do reuse a lot of rubber products, which is good these days. But think about the consistency of what you're driving on as to what you're riding in and the inconsistencies of your wheels. That's why it's a pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
Literally.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is why I love live streaming, because you just go on tangents like that. I love that.
I don't mind tangents as long as people aren't flipping out, telling people to F off for all this other stuff. You know, like, I mean, if you have a topic, stick to a topic, great. But if it's a free for all, it depends on the group that you're with. Because I think it's safe to say that the four of us here, we know each other well enough to when we know each other's cues, when to say something and when not to say something. Most oftentimes, even though I can drone on, when I'm done speaking, you'll usually tell I'm done speaking, because I'll say something like, well, that's all I've got to say about that, or I'll kind of fade out, and then I'll automatically click the mic, and then somebody else can step up. Just kind of like right now.
This is a good channel for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Myself excluded from that equation.
Oh, come on, Ogre.
Well, I didn't want to, I mean, I wasn't trying to be a dick. I just realized I said that like, yes, I'm badass. I'm just saying this is a very good panel.
No, man.
Do I gotta cuss at him and tell him to get out?
Oh,
you fucking
it's happened before. Get out, you fat loser. What was that? Shut up, you fat fuck. Sorry.
Get off the stage, you fat fuck.
There you go. That's what I was looking for.
Oh my god. Yeah.
You garbage human.
Oh. Mercy.
I was just wondering if we'll ever see like Anna Kasparian, Anita Sarkeesian, and what's her name, Brianna Wu, all like talking together on a panel. That would be like the trifecta of just, you know, dividing by
holy
zero.
trinity of regressiveness.
And not holy, the unholy trinity.
That ever happens, I'm gonna get my face changed to look like Michael DeSanta from Grand Theft Auto 5, dress up like he does, and I'm gonna get a fucking grenade launcher.
Do it.
And see how many 5-star want levels I can attain in under 2 minutes.
See, I think if something like that ever happens, we should all grow our beards, put our fedoras on, go there and stare at them.
I already got the beard.
Oh, well, then, see, you gotta.
I can't. I'm sorry, but I can't grow a beard, so I'd have to grow the long hair because, you know, at my age, still having a full head of hair, and it grows thick more than it does long. So I'm very happy about that.
Oh yeah, here he goes about his fucking hair again.
Oh shit! Oh, be quiet,
rub it in,
Beardsley.
Just rub it in, how us bald guys. You know, you're just so great, man. Better
Yeah,
hair,
but I
better
don't,
hair
I don't
than
have,
razor
I don't,
fist, he
I don't
said.
have the skull to be bald. I mean, if I don't have the nice
I don't have
head
the choice but to be
to where I
bald.
can take the turtle wax and shine it up in Lex Luthor shit.
I don't have the choice to be bald. Yeah, I just killed me the other day. I clipped that out. That stream was full of you know, good quotes, but I've got you saying, you know, I got better hair than Razor Fist.
Well, Razor Fist's hair always struck me as being really oily, but that could just be the camera.
It is the camera, but he's got longer hair. I have thicker hair.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said not better, thicker. Let's keep it.
Let's keep it realistic. It's not like he's gonna say anything anyway and challenge me to a hair off.
A hair off.
Yeah.
What would that entail? Just like a slow growing process, and you just upload like photos, like a time lapse.
Ponytails at noon.
Ponytails. No, he would win in a flash. By the way, with that one.
No, it is just funny. I'll be honest, man. I love you have good hair. There you go.
Yeah,
you have freaking Christopher Walken hair.
I'm too busy trying not to laugh to do my Chris Walken impression. By the way.
Yeah, at least you don't have
I'm
like.
gonna take his hair. I'm gonna take his hair. I'm gonna take my scissors. I'm gonna cut it, and I'm gonna stab him with a soldering iron. How do you like that?
Oh, that was uncanny. How exactly that sounds.
Yeah. I mean, I've been binging on Razor Fist's material for a while now because I only just recently discovered him through you, Ogre. Actually, I saw the live stream that you guys did with him.
Oh, that's badass. He's, you know, it's Mad Max month, and I don't want to turn this into a Razor Fist dick fest.
I can't remember what film it was, but I remember this iconic line from Christopher Walken where he's telling the story of his life, and he's like, "Best job I ever had, pretzel kiosk, best flexibility."
I just always loved him when he. I've loved Christopher Walken in almost anything. But and I'm not gonna do it needs more cowbell thing because that's overdone, and he actually hates that. But I've always loved the way he delivered his speech in Pulp Fiction.
Oh my God, that was classic.
Now your father had this watch, and he wanted to hide it from the gooks, and he stuck it up his ass for 5 years. This watch up his ass.
This watch.
Yeah, this watch. You know, it's just the way he
seconds in on the monologues. I don't know if any of y'all have seen the movie True Romance.
I have yet to watch that. I'm trying to hunt that down.
There's a scene, I don't want to ruin it, but there's a scene with him in it, and you just once again, when he's delivering any monologue, he's very good at it. Very convincing.
Well, the funny thing about Christopher Walken is I can watch these 4 movies in a row, which people can't do this shit because they get impatient. And they're of such different caliber. I can watch Communion, which scares the fucking shit out of me. I can watch The Deer Hunter. I can watch Pulp Fiction, and then I can watch Joe Dirt. And these are all different genres. And Chris Walken is just—he's not the best actor in the world to me, but he's so convincing because he throws himself into every part he plays, and you can tell he loves what he's doing. And that's what makes Chris Walken great. He loves what he's doing, and Suicide Kings is another one. Freaking beautiful. Chris Walken, that's one of the reasons he is who he is. He loves what he's doing, and it seems people, they don't.
In the groin. I'm sorry.
That's
one of my favorite movies. It's like, did I kick you, Ira?
Yeah, I think that's in Suicide Squad, or Suicide Kings.
Absolutely.
And he loves what he's doing, and I wish more people could, that act these days, that they should be thankful that they're doing it, because I don't think they can hold down jobs otherwise. Should take from Chris Walken to love what you do, and he does. But I also think, let me finish up here real quick.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'll just shut up anyway.
That was me. But I also think that if Chris Walken was doing any other job, he'd be doing it just as good.
Oh, absolutely. So here by demand from Conscious Caracal, the J-Man.
Oh, you want me to play it?
Oh, I'm playing it now. Can you guys hear it?
No, I don't.
It's not even moving.
I can set it up so you can hear it if you want me to finer print.
That's all right. I'll post it in the chat for now. I'm just testing things out.
Yeah, this whole thing with copyright strikes is it's really counterproductive and ridiculous on a certain level. I understand why, because I was playing Grand Theft Auto, and every time it loads up, it says, "Do not do this, do not reverse engineer, do not do all this other crap." But you know what musicians have figured out in the long run is to allow some things to happen, because that helps them get stuff done the way they want. And I think that's another falling out that YouTube seems to have, that they do get bullied by lawyers of people who are doing other things. Like if you have a clip of a movie, the movie studio is the one that's going to go to YouTube. Yeah, we're going to sue you for X amount of dollars because you allowed this clip to be played. And what they fail to realize is, yeah, that's a good idea. Sabotage yourself, because a lot of the times we find stuff on YouTube that we didn't even know about, and then we go out and we buy the product. I found movies from watching Noah Antweiler or Razor Fist or Doug Walker, and it's like, I didn't even know these things existed. I'll go out and find the copies of them, and I'll buy them, and then the movie companies will make money. It's like, and you're bitching about YouTube allowing this copyright strike stuff for this. It's financial suicide.
It's counterintuitive, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I agree. Don't let whole movies be on YouTube, because that does take away from purchasing, and they do lose their money that way, and that's fine. I understand that. But if something's not available on DVD or Blu-ray format, and somebody has an old videotape and you never plan on bringing it out again, that's on the movie. That's on the movie producers, and that's on the movie company for not allowing that shit to be seen. That's all I gotta say about that.
And that's how you know Zero Cool has finished talking. Go ahead, Ogre. Ogre?
I think Ogre's preoccupied.
So
do you have any specific themes that you had in mind for the stream that you wanted to discuss, or that you haven't already discussed?
Not as such. I mean, really, Zero approached me yesterday, wanted to talk about something, but I was at work, so I couldn't talk about it. So I thought, why not just do something today? It was really impromptu, just testing the mechanics of it all, because I've never actually.
Because I actually have a trivial question for you regarding your channel.
Oh, go ahead.
What is the story behind your username? And the artwork is pretty self-explanatory, but like, what's the general rationale behind the username that you picked?
Oh, that's a good question. My original intent for this channel was for me to review commercials. You know how you watch commercials and you see the really, really fine print on the bottom of the screen, especially in pharmaceutical commercials.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. I get that.
Results. Yeah. Results may vary.
Results may vary, may cause suicidal thoughts, may cause anal leakage. And, I'm like, that's not a side effect. That's an effect. Oh, Ogre just dropped out.
Yeah, he'll be back. He always has funny problems on his end if he's not hosting.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was the original intent, but I was having trouble getting stuff from either YouTube or, just finding the right commercial to attack. I mean, there's a ton of them out there, and I don't want to limit myself to like a market where it's only America, or it's only South Africa, or it's only Canada. You know what I mean? That was the original intent.
You could only do South Africa, and you'd have endless content.
Oh, I'm sure, and eventually I want to get back to the original intent of this channel. But for right now, I enjoy what I'm doing. I like.
Yeah, I remember specifically a few years back, I got this medication for, I can't exactly remember for what, but something to do with my lower intestine or something. And I read the box after the doctor had prescribed it to me, and then I read that one of the side effects was like depression and suicidal thoughts. I'm like, what the fuck? This was never communicated to me when this was prescribed. This is for my stomach. So and that was exactly also in like little fine print at the bottom of the box. So fuck, man, it's scary what the things that companies try and slip into their product descriptions.
Oh, they're not even slipping it in. If you watch American pharmaceutical commercials, they'll give you a laundry list of side effects. Like, have you been to a recent area where you had fungal infections? Oh, it may cause death. That kind of stuff. They're not even slipping it in. They're putting it out there, but people don't listen. People don't read the finer print. That's why I chose the name, the finer print. I'm sorry, Wolfie. Probably not this one. Maybe next one. Sorry, I'm just responding to the chat. you know, really what I want to do is make fun of commercials. I used to watch a lot of Dog Walker. You mentioned that, Zero, earlier. He did all of the top 11 commercials, nostalgic commercials. I'm more interested in the current stuff because of what's going on, because of the climate that we live in today. A lot of the commercials on TV really piss me off, and not just pharmaceutical. I'm looking at like the I think it's a 7-Up commercial where a guy and his wife end up on like 2 Chainz yacht, and she sits in his lap, and he looks like a cuck, basically. You know, the way that the media treats people, especially white people, really pisses me off. And I'm not, you know, I'm not like an alt-right guy or anything like that. It's just it really upsets me to see how it progressed from just, hey, this is our product, come buy it, to, hey, this is our product, and if you don't buy it, you're a dumbass. You know, that kind of thing really irks me.
Well, that's actually a very good point that you make about that, because for, you know, people love to have this little laugh at old. I've seen videos on YouTube and Daily Motion and VidMe and other things that they spoof, or they talk about, oh, the commercials in the 50s would be considered sexist these days, and that kind of thing. And it's like, okay, well, if you take the commercials that seriously, you're fucking mentally ill in the first place. But it really was. It really is. That's exactly how it's gone. You could see a woman, you know, talking about, oh, I use this detergent, it does this great job, and I love it. To yeah, if you don't buy this, you know, latest version of the iPhone or the iPod, you have a mental inferiority complex or a small penis, or you are, you know, less worth than a speck of sand, you know. And it's kind of like, damn, you guys have become vicious bastards, haven't you? So you make a very great point about that, and it's really sad that we've gone that way, because you still know that what people fail to realize is that word of mouth still means a lot more than their stupid advertisements that they're wasting all this money on.
Exactly.
If I like, let's say, I'll make a quick example. I happen to like the Millennium series by you know, the girl, not the remake. I'm talking with Numi Rapace, the original, you know, girl with the dragon tattoo. That series.
Yeah.
Stieg Larsson. I love his stuff. I love those movies.
Oh, fantastic.
And the books are hard to read as fuck for me, because I'm not a book reader for the most part. But I like the movies, and I'll say, this is why I like them. And I said, if you want to go out and watch them, great. You know, you can go find a copy over here. And I've had friends like, no, that's not really my thing. It's like, yeah, all right, that's cool. And you don't rub it in their face. But I've also had people say, man, you've got to try this. You got to try this, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, look, man, it's just not my thing. I can't afford it. What are you, a fucking wuss? I'm like, no, what part of I can't afford it right now did you not understand? And there comes the difference between saying a promotion for something you like that has been made, and you're doing what is right. You know, you're doing what is morally proper, and I'll go there and say it's morally responsible to say, hey, if you don't like it, that's great, but just to let you know it's out there, as opposed to, no, if you don't get this, you're less than a man. It's kind of like, wow, what are you trying to make an enemy out of me over me not having a Samsung Galaxy 7S? You know, I don't give a shit. You know, you really, and then one, you know, we know one of two things will happen. Either they'll cave in because they have an inferiority complex, or a person's going to get mad saying, wow, you really don't want my business. You pissed me off so bad. Now I'm going to say very negative things about your product because this is how you treated me. Right. And that's what commercials have gone from and advanced to. And people just don't see this.
No, it's right at eye level, and that's the infuriating part of it. I work in media. I work with corporate communications. I do a lot of production, and I see the scripts in their rough outlining, and I see how they're being shaped and reshaped into targeting.
Yeah, they're taking steps from the propaganda playbook, like blatantly. It's not even, they don't even try to hide it.
No. Actually, this is what's going on in especially in American media is guerrilla marketing. You know, it's this whole concept of, it's no longer about the product, it's about you.
It's about what you present, what you sell. Yeah. How you sell it.
I had a communications teacher who always loved to say that Starbucks doesn't sell coffee. Starbucks does not sell anything to do with coffee. Starbucks is selling you. They want you to come in and buy their product. That's why they offer you free Wi-Fi. That's why they give you, you know, those like stylized cups for.
But their coffee is shit.
That's what I'm saying. They don't really sell coffee. They're selling you the experience,
an idea of what you think the product should be.
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons that Starbucks failed spectacularly in Israel, which is where I'm originally from, because people in Israel know their shit about coffee. They love their fucking coffee. And when Starbucks came in and they opened a branch, you know, they had the rush for the first week, and then people were going like, this tastes like wet cardboard. No. And they just stopped going, and they closed within, I think it was 6 months.
Well, I wish they'd close here in the Quad Cities, because the big two people here are Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts, and honestly, I don't like either one of them. I'll go to the local Hy-Vee and I'll buy the beans and grind them up myself.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah,
we get a good example is last year one of my mates went to, I think it was Europe somewhere, and he got Starbucks, and he was like, "Should I get you a cup?" And I'm like, doesn't that exactly demonstrate how they sell their brand and not the product, where you bringing me a brand item back as a souvenir?
Yeah, I mean, look, my wife and I have a collection of Starbucks mugs because we used to live abroad together. So, you know, it's fine. We just love them because they're huge and they contain...
Yeah, but you're not buying them because they're Starbucks cups. You're buying them because you can actually use them as mementos of those certain places.
Yes,
that you went.
Exactly. Yeah, not because they're Starbucks.
Yeah, you don't have a Starbucks collection. You have a collection of Starbucks cups that you use as mementos of wherever you travel. Yeah, no.
Precisely. Yes, that is exactly my point.
But then doesn't that become counterproductive? Because even though you know you bought the cup for a certain reason, if you're walking around with it, drinking your tea or the coffee that you know is good, somebody says, "Oh, they must have got the coffee they're drinking at Starbucks," and then unfortunately it promotes a shit coffee brand.
No, I don't give a fuck what other people think. I get my coffee from Costco.
Isn't that what the cup does?
Saying.
Yeah.
I mean, yes and no.
Okay.
You could look at it that way, but for me, like I said, I don't give a fuck. My coffee, I like the coffee that I get from Costco. It's called Mayorga. No, they did not pay me for this. I love their coffee. It's called Cafe Cubano. Go fucking get it. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I wish I was. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Is the type of instant coffee?
No. It's beans, and we grind it ourselves, just like Zero here does. And it's a dark roast Cuban coffee.
Yeah, that's a big cultural difference. Here in South Africa, most people drink instant coffee. We don't really have coffee machines and like grind up coffee. We have like, there's like in the Afrikaans community, some people like their black coffee that they grind themselves. But like you only do that if you live on a farm or like you have the money and the patience to actually grind down coffee and make it the old-fashioned way.
Well, that's a fair thing to say. Yeah. That's no matter where you go, because here in the Quad Cities, we have people. Well, the Quad Cities. If you guys ever get time to look up the Quad Cities of the United, of Iowa, Illinois, or four cities combined, basically. We have the Dunkin' Donuts, we have the Starbucks, we can go to Hy-Vee and get their coffee, or we can go to a chain called Come and Go and get their coffee, which personally I like their dark roast myself if you're in a hurry. But it's like anywhere else. If you want to take time to grind something, fine. Otherwise, go to the grocery store, buy your Folgers or whatever brand in a can, make it that way. In fact, being from the 1980s in America, we're so used to go out and buying a can of coffee and doing it that way that we're like, oh, Starbucks, I don't want to fucking pay X amount of dollars for that. I'll just go put it in the coffee, Mr. Coffee over here, and that's how we roll. But again, it's all about choice. It's however you want to do it. And oddly enough, it sounds like in some places, like where you're at, Conscious, it's so ingrained that everybody, does it a certain way that they forget that there's two other ways to do it.
Yeah, no, exactly. I remember when I was little, our house had like an old coffee grinder, this metal object that came from like the 1800s or something. Like you put it on the wall and you put the coffee beans in the top and you just turn this lever and you manually grind the coffee down. And I remember grinding my coffee like that and then drinking it, and it was fucking delicious.
Oh yeah, it's so much better than just having it, the granulated shit that you get from like instant coffees like Nestle, which is what I used to drink as well. I mean, I get it,
It's much more affordable in time-wise and expense-wise.
Yeah, I just posted the type of coffee that we get in the side
Hmm.
chat and in the chat. You guys,
Now, I did want to say, while you're not promoting Mayorga coffee, I wish I was getting some of that Stieg Larsson Millennium book, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, good movie money for mouthing off about that, because I love that series. Even though I think the third one's a little overrated, it's still a good trilogy. And they're thinking about doing a fourth one, because there is a fourth book out. But I don't think Numi Rapace is going to revise her role, because she's a bit older than when she did the original movies.
yeah.
But I wish I was getting some of that money for motor mouthing.
I mean, I love the first two. I agree with you about the third. It's a little bit weaker. I try to watch the Americanized version of the Girl with
I
the Dragon
can't do it.
Tattoo, and after 10 minutes, I'm like, I can't watch this. I switched off. I like it's so.
You
bad.
beat me by
Isn't that also
You just
directed by
beat
David
me.
Fincher?
yeah. I
Yes.
just
I'm actually, in general, I'm a pretty big fan of his work. He's one of my favorite directors. But
he's not the problem.
No, he's not the
Mm.
problem. It's the cast and
It's
the
the
way that
script.
they wrote it. Yeah.
mm.
And you know, here's a kick in the pants thing about that. I hear people bitching about American remakes all the time, and now I understand why. But unfortunately, an actual truth is, whether you like it or not, this is an actual truth. Sometimes the American remakes are what lead people to the originals, and they'll say, "Oh, I ended up watching like here." We'll use this for example. Oh, I saw the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. And I'll say, "Which one?" They go, "What do you mean, which one?" I said, "The one that just came out or the original?" They go, "There's an original." I say, yeah, and then I'll talk about it briefly, and they'll say, "Oh my God, I like the original so much better." Or they'll say, "You know, that was great, but I'm still liking this version better." And you say to them, "Great, you still found out what the originals were. You still found out that there was that this is a remake. That's fine. You can like what you're gonna like. I'm not gonna bust your chops for it, but you at least gave it a try." And that's an actual truth, is that, you know, some people can only find out about the originals through the Americanized version, and then they either love it or they hate it. Now, my biggest problem with most people is they don't want to sit down and watch a so-called quote-unquote foreign film with English subtitles, because they're too damn lazy to read. I would prefer to watch, you know, the original Millennium Trilogy with Numi Rapace in its native language with English subtitles, because they are translated properly and it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with subtitles, so for me, it's like second nature. But for Americans, you know, they only speak English. They don't speak an additional language. Some people speak Spanish, maybe, but it's very difficult for them, and I get that. I totally get that. But when you don't grow in an environment that allows you to learn other languages, I grew up speaking Hebrew, and English was a second language. It became a first language for me in terms of fluency. I also speak Mandarin because I lived in China for 5 years. You know,
Oh, you speak Mandarin?
yeah,
Not, I mean, conversational Mandarin?
conversational, not for business or anything like that. You know, and I'm pretty rusty
Like
as
you
it
could
is. But
ask a guy for directions on the street.
yeah, I can ask for directions. I can order food. I can hold a conversation down for longer than 5 minutes. But if you don't use it, you
And
lose
then
it.
you get like this strained expression on your face, and the other guy can see you're in clear discomfort because your words are running out.
No, not at all. Not at all. No, no, it's also about confidence. When you learn a second or third language, I think it's crucial to have confidence in your abilities. And I've seen a lot of people who were with me in China that were really in a shell to begin with, and they were like really timid in class. And then after about a week or so, you know, after a taxi driver ripped them off, or a girl at a supermarket ripped them off, they're like, okay, I get it. Let's try this. And all of a sudden you see these people blossoming. A lot of American kids, mind you. They just started blossoming, and they started learning the language more, and they started experiencing living in China more. And I think that's very important. I think a lot of American youths don't do that, and that's a problem.
What was the? Can you disclose what the purpose of that trip was?
Originally? It was just, you know, I had finished working for 5 years at a major website in Israel. It was a news organization. It's the biggest website in Israel. and they fired me, and I had a huge severance package coming my way. And I'm like, okay, let's think about this. I can either go on a trip, which I never took after the army because that's when most people do it, or I can, you know, maybe work a little more, save a little bit more money, and go on a more extended trip. And I had two options. I could either go to Nepal and do some mountain climbing. And after a conversation with a friend of mine, he's like, yeah, no, you're going to have to be there for a month before you can start climbing because you have to adjust to the altitude. Or I can go and study a foreign language. And I always had that interest in going to China because I always admired the culture and the language. I love their movies. So I decided to go to China. So I worked for another year and a half, saved some more money, started studying Mandarin in local Berlitz, which is a language school, and packed my bags, went to Beijing for 6 months. And that's also where I met my wife. And we were both in the same language school. So
All right, everybody, let's do this. Aww.
Aw.
Aw.
And I don't mean that
waiting.
sarcastically. That's sweet.
Yeah.
waiting, yeah.
Yeah. And people always ask me, is she Chinese? And I'm like, nope, she's as American as you are.
Well, now that you mention that, no. But no, seriously, I think you make a very valid. I think you make a very good point about knowing a second language or an additional language. Now, here in the Quad Cities, most people, we speak either English or we speak Espanol, and a lot of the times it is for business. But there are most of us, like myself. I happen to have 1, 2, 3, 4 houses in my neighborhood where, and by the way, I'm fine. Where most people were the neighbors, they're all of Mexican or Latin American origin. And when I say Latin American, they are actually from Mexico. Although you can argue the whole thing about Brazil and Honduras and Central America and Latin America, but the language is basically the same with the exception of different dialects and certain spelling sentences and structures, as you well know. So I have neighbors that they're American and they are of Hispanic descent. And we talk in Spanish all the time. And it's not because we're trying to be different. It's just because we respect each other enough as people. I have neighbors that they'll say, hey, good morning, Dade. How are you? They have the heavy, thick accent, and they're, you know, first-generation immigrants that come from Mexico or Latin America. And they'll say, hey, Dade, how are you doing? And I'll say, well, you know, let me see. I'll say, buenas, and a lot of times I see them at night. So I'll say, buenas tardes. Senor, ¿cómo está? You know, so on and so forth. Basically, very good. And then we'll start up the conversation, and then we'll talk, and then we'll have a bunch of people come by thinking, what the fuck are you guys talking about? We're just like, oh, we're talking about our gardens. They're like, huh? It's like, yeah, we don't have to speak English all the time. But the point is, and that's, then if I'm going to bring up the RAISE Act real quick, and I'm not going to talk about it completely because that's for another topic. But yeah, if you want to come to this country, learn fucking English, because if you go anywhere else, they do English as a courtesy. But you show respect to their country if you can learn their language.
Bingo.
And use it.
That's the weird thing about South Africa.
If you're going to come to America, learn fucking English as a second language and learn to use it respectfully. We're not saying you have to do it, but it helps.
And I taught English. I taught English in China. So, you know.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about South Africa is that we have 11 official languages. So you can just walk into like a store and there will be 2 people behind the cashier and they will just be talking about you, but you in their own language, and you won't have any idea what they're saying.
11 official languages.
11 official languages, yes.
English,
Oh
Zulu,
my.
Afrikaans.
My. Well, you know, the only Spanish that one needs to know is ¿Cuánto cuesta una pedazo de pinoche y 10 gramos de perico? That's the only Spanish that anyone would ever need to know.
So for us, the 11 languages are English, Afrikaans, Zulu, Xhosa, Southern Sotho, Tswana, Northern Sotho, Venda, Tonga, Swati, Ndebele.
Oh,
holy shit! The only thing more amazing about the 11 is that you know them all.
Did you have a click there?
Yeah, that.
What do you mean?
When you said a name of a language, it sounded like it clicked. What was that?
Oh wait, I gotta go back.
Oh, that was a memory.
I think it was after Zulu.
No,
I think you were singing after Zulu.
All the Africans.
I thought that was
Tswana one.
I've been suckered.
Say that again. Conscious. Say that again.
Wait.
Tswana.
Tswana. Yeah, Tswana.
Oh God.
And there's also
Well,
Koza.
Koza. Yeah, I know Koza.
Now I have to say this to you, Ogre, right quick. Ogre, deja de ser una dork.
say it again.
Ogre, deja de ser una dork.
So no, I don't have that many.
It basically means quit being a dork.
Yeah, I thought you said you have a lot of assholes. Is what I thought you said.
No,
Well,
because I said that because when you said e, you don't say e, it's eh.
Well, and
Yeah.
what I said also was how much is a piece of pussy and 10 grams of cocaine.
I know, that's why I said
Well, I just wanted to
Ogre
be
deja
open.
de ser un dork.
Yeah, I don't
Being
speak
a dork.
Spanish very well.
Well, I
I-
don't either, but I know enough not to get my ass kicked. And when I go order a torta, I'm treated with respect instead of people give me a look like, "What the fuck are you ordering?"
Oh yeah,
But that's
I
one
can
of the
get around about like I have a small little amount of conversational. But when I was young, I grew up with a Spanish family, a Cuban family. I was fluent in Spanish when I was 6, 7 years old. But then we moved far away and to Michigan, and there was nobody who spoke Spanish. So like it was said, like Finer Press said, if you don't use it, you lose it. So now I'll be honest, it's very difficult for someone to talk about me in Spanish when I'm there because I can understand a shitload of it. But to go out and just to spew it out, pretty good.
Yeah, you're completely right. It does take practice, and unfortunately, I'm trying to learn Korean because I've studied Taekwondo and I'm getting back into it. But I've got nobody here to talk with it, so it's kind of like, why do I even bother? So I work on my. So I work more on my. I work more on my Spanish more than I do my Korean because I have more people that I can actually interact with. And I don't. And if you guys have never had a torta, you are denying yourselves real food.
Well, I eat them all the time. But I was wondering for the 11 languages there, just curious, Conscious Caracal, how many do you speak? I know you speak at least 2. How many languages do you speak?
I speak 2.5.
Okay.
But the half one is not another South African language. The half one is Netherlands, which I can read and understand, but not write.
You mean Dutch?
Dutch.
Dutch, yeah.
Well, I thought you were going to say.
Dutch.
I thought he was going to say good English, bad English, and shitty.
Well, no, that's Americans.
Yeah.
Well,
but
that's technically 2.5 languages.
Yep.
I speak 2 languages, but my second language is only really useful in Well, my first language, Afrikaans, is only really useful in South Africa. I can't really speak it outside of the world. The only place where, like I said, it is useful is in the Netherlands. There I can actually speak to the people and understand them.
And they speak Afrikaans there also?
No, they speak Dutch, but Afrikaans is like a younger version of Dutch, like a sing-songy Dutch, combined with
I don't
German.
think a lot of people that know you have a true appreciation of where you're from. And in my own mind, I think one of the things that makes you such a laid-back, introspective and thoughtful human being is the harsh place that you live, just environmentally.
I talked to someone yesterday exactly about this, but it's not specifically in a South African context, but like I think the first step towards enlightenment for a person is that when that person realizes that the world is unfair and cruel, and once you realize that, you start thinking and philosophizing about actually dealing with the shit that you just realized.
And,
So,
and
yeah,
that's a very
it's,
good point you make about that too, is that people don't realize how much of a suckfest the world can be. I'm in the Midwest in America, and if you're not a farmer, you're basically surrounded by a urban and suburban landscape, and you really do have it easy because you don't know how to go out and fucking bale hay. But there are places on the planet that's like, bale hay, that's a joke. And these kids these days, and I say kids because I'm in my early to mid 40s. I can say, these fucking kids, if they're not farm boys around here, they don't know shit. They don't know how hard life can be, because people think, oh my God, you're baling hay. That must be so difficult. Yeah, it's difficult, but I'm also putting food on my table, and that's my way for me to, get exercise, make money, and do whatever else.
Yeah,
because there are a lot of places in the world, they don't give a shit.
I
wanted to tell Ogre, when you said not a lot of people appreciate where I'm from, I think I don't appreciate sometimes the fact that I'm from South Africa, or from the continent of Africa. I always joke that it's still sinking in, not quite yet. So and I was just talking to someone the other day on a stream about the fact that growing up in a small countryside South African town of like 20,000 people, When people talk about like that idealistic childhood, and they talk about riding their bikes around and playing outside, and like that really American dream countryside childhood, that was basically my childhood. That was what I lived. That was growing up in a small town. That was what I did. We just went out and drove our bikes and ran and explored the countryside, climbed a hill. We weren't inside. And I was telling this one guy, he was saying, yes, the modern young generation are sitting inside and not going outside. And I told him, yeah, the rules of the roles have just reversed. The amount of time my generation spent online and spent outside, the amount of time we spent outside was the same as the amount of time they now spend online. And the amount of time we spent online is the amount of time they spend outside today. So
But
it's a yeah.
no, I was going to say, it's interesting you say that because, you know, my car's in the shop and people were like, hey, man, where's your car? It's like, well, it's getting the CV axles changed. They're like, well, oh, my God. And they freak out. What are you going to do for getting around places? And I'm like, walk, ride my bicycle, ride the city bus. Why would you do that? I'm like, what do you mean, why would I do that? I was walking for a long time when I was married. My wife had the car and she wouldn't let me drive it. It's her car, she paid for it. It's like, that's fine. I lived literally 5 blocks from my job. I walked to work and it was like, hey man, what are you doing? I was like, I'm walking to work. Why? Because it's 5 blocks, you pansy. And so, so now that my car's in the shop, I've got to walk, give or take 4.5 miles to and fro. I've got to return stuff to my parents, which I was telling Finer Print earlier. I got to return this big extension cord. I got to carry that. In fact, I had to carry for 7 miles from the auto shop to my house my CV axles for my car, which weighed 25 pounds each, on my shoulders. That was 50 pounds I was carrying for 7 miles. And I said, man, people were like, what the fuck did you do that for? And I said, I couldn't find a bus. And everybody was busy, so fuck it, I walked. They're like, huh? I was like, oh, Jesus Priest, you guys, and I'm the one that, is trying to lose weight, but, to quote Chris Walken, what the hell? Needs more cowbell. Judas fucking Priest, people, what's wrong with you?
And this is something that kills me about American culture here. That's something that I'm still not used to. I go shopping with my wife, and then we go to a strip mall or something like that, or a shopping center. She will literally go to the car, start it, and move it to go to another store that's like 3 doors down. I'm like, what are you doing? It's right there. Just walk.
Oh my God.
Why would you even like? And it's not her. It's not her. It's ingrained in her. It's ingrained in her psyche. That's what you do. I did the same thing for the longest time. I said, I'm going to go down. My local grocery store is 4 blocks away from me. And I would get in my car, and if it, it's like, I'm going to go get in my car, I'm going to go buy a Snickers. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm driving 4.5 blocks. I take the time to start my car and avoid getting hit in traffic for a fucking candy bar. Okay, no, fuck this shit. I go turn my fat ass around, get on my bicycle, and I bike 4.5 blocks because then I realize I'm going to have a Snickers, which has a bunch of fucking sugar in it. I'm going to need to go riding.
Exactly.
But it's ingrained in us.
When I see people standing on an escalator and I'm just walking up the escalator, like not just standing still. It's just that idea of, I don't want my whole life to just be everything so easy that I don't stimulate any of my muscles. I'm just existing.
Well, for God's sake, don't ever put them on an elliptical machine. They may have a fucking heart attack.
Yeah.
I own an elliptical.
I'm a strong supporter of the idea that a sound soul dwells within a sound mind and a sound body. So you have to look after not only your mind sharpness, but also your body at the same time to be completely healthy.
Well, that's a fact.
But you know what the thing is, guys, and it's not necessarily an American thing, although I would say it did definitely permeate in America. And Ogre, you can back me up or refute this when I'm done speaking. But we have made things to where we're in such a goddamn rush to where we've become lazy to a certain extent. Now, I'm not finished. I'm saying I remember watching Bill Bixby in The Courtship of Eddie's Father. He walked to work, and he had to walk, give or take a mile. And he'd walk to work, he'd walk home. The character never had a car. Nowadays, it's basically, oh, I'm going to the store around the corner. They get in their car, start the engine, fuck around with the CD, watch stuff, back out, and they literally go half a block, and they're like, oh, God, I can't believe that took forever. But it's because we've put so much on our plate as people, at least in America, and I think the world over is starting to show this shit too, where everything's got to be done fast, 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 to where we don't take time to do things the way we used to, and because we're impatient sons of bitches.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, the United States is so spread out that if we go back in our culture, the idea of keeping up with the Joneses, even though Jones is a very English name, keeping up with the Joneses is a very American thing. So your neighbor, he has 2 horses, right? He has one to plow and one for a saddle horse, whereas your family and everybody you know has gotten by with using the same plow horse, throwing a saddle on to go to town. Well, now you got to have your saddle horse, your plow horse. And oh, and then you notice that Mr. Jones just got a wagon and a pair of matched mares to pull his wagon, his bucka. And so you got to get a bucka now and have a saddle horse and have a plow. And so it's very American to, I believe it goes to our culture that we're so spread out. But it's, I mean, I can't really say it much better than that, what you just did. We have become lazy because of our rush, is a very good way to say it. But then you add that to this horse culture. We are the modern day Lakotas. We are just, our horses are steel.
Modern day Pawnees.
The Pawnees, sissies. I tell you, man, when there was a saying among the Algonquins, they said, when the Crow come, we send out our children and our old ladies. When the Pawnee come, we send out our women and our wives and our daughters. And he said, but when the Lakota come, we paint our faces and prepare for death.
Mm-hmm.
That was all the Algonquins. That was just the thing that they said about the fierce Lakota. We would have never beat them if it wasn't for that ghost dance nonsense. I don't want to get into politics either, but if they hadn't went and tried to do the right thing and become very evangelistic in their outreach and passing, I don't know who knows about the ghost dance, and passing this idea on that if they do the ghost dance, that somehow or another it would drive the white man out of their country and that they needed to approach it without battle.
I'm completely unaware of it. Ogre, can you give me like a short summary?
Okay.
I've never heard this history.
Well, the Lakotas, and we're coming up to the 1800s at this point. I believe we would be well into past 1840. And what was his name? Running Horse, Chief White Cloud. I'm sorry, he was a medicine man, but they call him Chief White Cloud. He got this vision one day that there was no way that they would ever beat the white man in force of arms, whereas all of our battles at that time, they were rough for us too, just like they were everybody. The Lakota were very, very skilled horsemen. They call them the people of the plains, the horse people, the horse tribe. And but he just got this vision, however he got it, whether it was realistic or not, but it turned out to be bad for him because he came up with this dance and he taught it to others and said, this is the ghost dance. If we do this and just commit ourselves to the memory of our ancestors' spirits will come back and they will fight for us on a supernatural level, and it will drive the white man from our land. And well, that's where you get Wounded Knee. That was right in the middle of that, man. I mean, and I'm not trying to be SJW in any sense, but what the United States government did at that time was while they were doing the ghost dance around the fire, came in and mowed them down like ripe wheat. And then you have, I mean, it goes all the way to, and then, I mean, it was Sitting Bull. He was kind of the end of that. And when the culmination of it was all of the nations coming together and going against Custer, which really it ended it for the Indian tribes. If they had not gone that ghost dance route in the early 1800s, we may have real Indian nations here right now, not just by name, because the tribes, they're not Indian. They can't do what they want. The United States government tells them what to do.
That's not SJW stuff. That's actual historical fact. There is a difference.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I know, but as soon as I say the white man, because I was going to put it that way, and I want to put it that way, I will put it that way in the future too, because when I talk about these things, it was the white man against the red man. If that's
that's historical fact. That's not political correctness. That's actual historical fact. That's how it was viewed, and people don't realize that.
So for me, I don't know.
Your wording is perfect.
If you believe in manifest destiny, Caracal, just to wrap this up, put a bow on it. then sure, it was a great thing that the tribes people of North Dakota, South Dakota, the Lakota actually roamed what we consider the Midwest, and they went all over almost the entire United States because they followed the migration of the buffalo. But when they decided to do that, man, it opened up this avenue, and
did they ever adopt
we ended up with Manifest Destiny.
To fight you? Did they ever adopt guns to fight the American forces?
Before the Ghost Dance, yes, and then after, as I said, with Sitting Bull there, and with when the Lakota, I mean it was everybody, when all of the tribes came together and killed the soldiers there with Custer. That was like they took up arms again, but that filled us with such a resolve to destroy them for that, because they killed every man that was there, left their bodies to bleach in the sun.
What were the numbers of the two sides?
Oh, let me look. You would ask that. I'm talking about the Battle of Wounded Knee right now.
I have absolutely no sense of history of the history of the U.S. at that time, except for like very basic stuff.
Very few people that even live here do. But so it was Wounded Knee Massacre. It occurred on December 29th, 1890. So you see, now we're getting, because as I said, it started the Ghost Dance deals. That's right. And it was, I said, the Ghost Dance thing, that kind of helped us, because we would have been battling the Lakota and all of the tribes of the plains, as well as the South. And yes, even though I'm from the South, I'm a Union man. I'm an American. So when I think about that, I consider the United States was fighting against a rebel alliance. But let's see, how does it say here? Hopefully it does very quickly. So there were 120 men. The United States was one side, and then you had the Lakota, the Hunkpapa, the Lakota. You had like 4 tribes here stated, but they're all considering themselves Lakota at this time. I'm not going to try to butcher their names very badly, but it looks like you're about right around 120 men, and it says that 90 were lost, but that's the Indians. So 150 to 300 were killed. That includes all 120 men of the 7th U.S. Cavalry.
That's a pretty big battle. Jeez.
Yeah, now I'm looking, and do you see this? It says Ghost Dance War. That's what I was talking about. This is the end, though. And as I said, what this did was the poor Indian people, man, the dumb bastards, they waited too long. They should have taken to arms way sooner, especially when the states were divided and more. It would have given them a lot better chance. And then us, like I said, they just slaughtered Custer and all of his men and left them to rot out in there and right there on the plains. It kind of did something to the American people. And I think everybody here, including those of us that aren't Americans by birth, know that that's just foolish, man, to waken the sleeping giant and fill it with a terrible resolve. And we pretty much wiped him out after that in a ruthless way.
Sorry,
I'm sorry I didn't know more about the Battle of Wounded Knee. I steer clear of Cripple Creek and Wounded Knee and all of these things where it's atrocities on both sides. I want to know about them, and I should probably know more about them. But I know more of the history of the Algonquin people.
In South African history, the Zulu people fucked the British up in KwaZulu-Natal back in the day. There was this big battle. I can't remember the exact name. Fuck, I'm going to look it up now. But in that battle, it was the battle with the most ever awarded Victoria Crosses in Britain's history.
And yeah, and as a matter of fact, I'm glad, because I did make a serious twisting of the two things. MC's in the chat and reminded me that the Battle of Little Bighorn is what I was talking about. And that's why when I was looking up, I was wondering why those numbers were so weird. So that's actually like 150 people that I was showing were slaughtered at Wounded Knee. That was a massacre of the Indians. And then Little Bighorn, MC, tell me if I'm right or wrong on this. I believe Little Bighorn came after. There was a lot of bad feelings on both sides. I've read a little bit about the Zulus. I've watched the movie Shaka Zulu.
I'm sure that's not a historical, accurate portrayal of Shaka Zulu.
I'm sure it wasn't. Yeah, all my black friends liked it. I was in military school when I first watched it. There was 6 black boys in there with 5 white boys and a Mexican boy, and our little section, our little platoon. And boy, they just loved that, man. They just loved that movie. I didn't mind it myself. It was action packed. Yeah, he's saying, okay, so Bighorn was first, the Battle of the Little Bighorn. So again, that would mean that Wounded Knee would more or less be a reprisal on our part. because it said that was 1890. Anyway, I mean, I'm
Yeah, I
done.
just found the page. It's the Battle of Isandwala.
There you go.
Between the British and the Zulus. And the British forces were 1,800 and the Zulu strength was 15,000. And the casualties on the British side, out of that 1,800, 1,300 were killed and they were basically defeated. And the Zulus only lost 1,000 people. So they
damn, you guys just took this full fucking potato and made it political, didn't you? I'm just kidding. This sounds more actually. I was gonna say it sounds more historical, which is a nice, refreshing taste from Ogre for once. I don't mind historical stuff, but you know, this is not a non-political stream, so let's not go political full potato today, guys.
What do y'all think about that Scaramucci? What do y'all think about that Moochie?
Oh, come on, Ogre.
I'm just teasing. I don't like teasing. I'm gonna get kicked out of here.
What you also have to keep in mind is that the British forces had military-grade weapons, and the Zulus only had spears.
I love battle history, or I think we call it battle heritage in Israel. It's something that really captures.
What do you know about the Siege of Masada?
The Siege of Masada is more of a tale than it is a modern day battle history or something like that. It was just
it's ancient, but it happened. I mean, you can see.
Oh yeah. It was. I believe the faction was the Sicariques.
Yep.
And they were trapped on a mountain in the desert, besieged by I think it was 4 or 5 legions of the Roman army, and they ended up killing everybody, killing themselves basically. Yep. Instead of being captured alive by the Romans.
Well, they held them off for 3.5 years.
Yes, they did. I was actually in Masada with my wife.
You've been there?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So did you go right up and see where the cistern was and all that? That's what saved them. They had a cistern up there.
Yep. They had a cistern up there. They were growing pigeons, so they could eat. Either send messages or eat. Yep. And it was very interesting.
What I just also now saw in the suggested side was also the Battle of Spioenkorp, which was the biggest battle in the Anglo-Boer War between the Boers and the British. Their forces were 20,000 men and 36 field guns, and this is top quality grade weapons, versus 8,000 men of the Boers with only 4 field guns that we'd gotten from the Germans. And it's a pretty epic story. I'm not going to tell the whole thing, but I'll send a link so you can actually read it. It's fucking incredible. Where the Boers took over this little hilltop and they guarded it like a fortress. They built like a fortress out of rocks and shit. And the British had to come up from below, and they were absolutely just destroyed. And it's an amazing story. I've actually been there when I was younger on vacation. We went to that exact battle site, and I took some amazing pictures, and it's actually quite beautiful there. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. I'll put a link in the side chat so you can read for yourself.
Have any of you guys ever watched Band of Brothers?
Oh yeah, great movie. A great series.
The series, yeah. So the very first episode, it shows and apparently it is very, very accurate the way that they did it. It was basically a recreation of how they took a fortified position on D-Day. And I mean, it was incredible just to watch that. And that I think that's probably why one of the reasons why I love that military history so much. You know, I'm not that fluent in it, but I still love reading about it and, listening about it and all that stuff. That's why I like the Undoomed video that he made about the Battle of the Bulge. Sorry, that was my dog.
Nobody cares. It's cool. Makes it more real. When you hear babies crying and stuff, it's like I'll have Mad Dodge on sometimes, and he's always like, "Sorry, man, sorry," because it don't matter if his mic's on and you can hear it. You hear, it sounds like there's about 50 children there, like he's at a Lebensborn. Not a Lebensborn where Hitler had the babies and stuff.
The fuck are you talking about?
Lebensborn, it's like I
know what that is. I was like, what the fuck are you going on about?
A lot of people don't know that Adolf Hitler was kind of cool in some ways, I gotta say, as a Jew, because he had a place where like hot young girls would go. And then if you were a good-looking young boy, you could go to a house also that you were usually separated by like a hill or a little walk, a mile walk or something. And then they would let them get together in a day, and you just you humped. And then the babies that the girls had, they didn't have to raise them. They just took them away, and they were Hitler Youth. They were Lebensborn. I thought it was cool.
Oh God, we've gone full potato.
Anyway, it was. I'm sorry, I'm ruining this whole thing.
Yeah, you are. Every time, fucking political shit, man. I love you, but dude, Judas Priest, give us a break.
I was making fun of it. I thought it was funny. I just.
It's about as funny as getting hit by a Panzer tank, which is kind of funny if you're not the one getting hit.
Yeah, but I just realized that as I made a joke about the Lebensborn, it would be like glass, glass knot or whatever. Some people may not know what crystal knot. People might not know what that is. So I just wanted. Never mind. I'm done. I can't believe it. And the finer print is actually, really an astute, erudite gentleman. I shouldn't be doing up to all this fuckery.
I wouldn't say
calling a white YouTuber. This is my version of it.
I wouldn't call myself erudite or anything like that.
No, I did. I said that.
No, I know.
You don't have to, man. I said it for you. All right, carry on. No more politics. I like to make fun of Hitler. I was watching these. It's like the Jewish Youth channel. Jewish Youth. Jewish
says
talk or
no
something.
more politics. Then he goes right to this topic.
No, it ain't no politics, dude. It's 4chan crashing, raiding this kid that is like trying to have a talk on Judaism.
But just look at that row of badasses standing there in that photo with their beards. Everyone has a beard, a cowboy hat, and a fucking hunting rifle.
Yeah, and you compare that to people these days, and they'd be like, "Oh, they're fucking Nazis." I'm like, "No, dipshit, they were fighting Nazis, but okay."
These are Caracal's ancestors right here.
Right?
No, I'm a direct descendant of these people.
I know, but we have I got lightheaded there for a second. It's like, no, see, but that's kind of the difference between men then and men now is people. I wouldn't call most men now men because they're more bitches than anything.
It relates to one of my favorite quotes that goes, "Bad times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create bad times."
Yep, that's very true, and we're getting to the point of bad times again, and if people don't know what the hell that is, it's kind of like you're in for a fucking rude awakening.
Yeah, I've heard it said.
You don't know shit about what it is like in really bad times, as in the early 1900s, fucking Great Depression and that shit. Fuck that.
Well, I would always say that if a person's never been locked away against their will, they sure as hell don't know what the fuck a bad time is.
All right, I'd like everybody to welcome Manic Idiot. He just joined in.
Hey, I can call somebody an idiot and get away with it.
Hell yeah, you can. I encourage that shit.
How you doing, man?
I'm gonna have fun. You're an idiot.
Have all the fun you want. That's why I named it that way.
He's an idiot, and he admits to it, and I like that.
That's right.
Anybody ever tell you look just like the guy from Wolf of Wall Street? You look just like the dude,
that's harsh, calling him Leonardo DiCaprio.
You look just like Leonardo DiCaprio, bro.
Hey, right on. Maybe I'll get a career one day.
Actually, you remind me of Ian that runs Luna Games that hangs out with Pat Contry, the NES punk.
Well, at least I'm no longer reminding people of fucking Dr. Randomer Cam.
Oh, thank Christ for that. I'd have to find you down and bitch slap your ass.
Just the glasses, dude. You don't look at it.
Just the glasses. Just the glasses.
Yeah, my old avatar, though, everybody kept going, "Are you a Dr. Randomer Cam ripoff?" And I'm like, no, but I can understand your point.
Well, it's better that this one's way better.
I would take a Dr. Randomer Cam comparison rather than being called a skeptic clone.
Oh my god.
Well, nobody thought of that shit until you said it.
You won't be called a skeptic clone because you're not wearing a suit.
No, I know. No, I was just referring to the whole clone saga that was going on a few months ago.
Dude, it's so petty and lame.
Yeah, suit yourself and all of Nightmare Fuel.
Yeah, I mean, say what you will about Randomer Cam. At least his content is fucking great.
Oh, hell yeah.
Armored Skeptic, I just
dude, I've unsubscribed from Armored Skeptic. Like I don't watch his content anymore. It's not interesting. It doesn't engross
I don't mind him so much. But then again, I'm actually just watching his movie reviews and shit, so
He used to be good.
Well-
He used to do some great content, but today it's just
And,
so
you know, I'm
glorious.
at him. I tried to goad him into like an argument, and he wouldn't take the bait. So I'm just a little butthurt.
That's actually not a bad thing you're saying about Skeptic there, because I feel the same way about Spoonie. He used to do a lot of freaking good videos, and then he kind of burned himself out and shot himself in the foot at the same time. So now he does live. Now he does live wire stuff. So it's good that he's not doing reviews, because if he was, he would fuck them up, and then he would suck at them. So it's kind of nice that he's going to a different format, which I think is the natural evolution of a person who does videos online. You start with one thing, then you go to another, and then if you can go back to something else earlier and do it right, fine. If you can't, don't worry about it and move on to something different, because you have to.
I'm fucked. I don't know how to do anything else but talk off the top of my head.
I'll join everybody else on the planet.
You can edit it into a bunch of different formats and just present it.
There you go. There you go. I just need to get creative editing. I need to rip off Chris Raygun some more.
Yeah.
Just don't do a chair roll.
Some quick zooms and quick cuts.
No, I'll do like a noose drop.
There you go.
Fucking that guy. No, that was dark.
That's the odd thing is now I have a channel and I've made a pretty large quantity of videos already, but I don't see like a style developing. Maybe people will see it, but I don't see in regards relatively to other like channels of the same
Skeptics
nature. Not really, no. I wouldn't call my channel a skeptic channel because I don't really like react to videos and like do the specific content that they do. But I don't know. I don't really.
Hey, Manic Idiot, if you got a YouTube, would you put it in the side chat so I can go and sub and whatnot, check your stuff out?
No, you don't want to do that. Don't waste your time. That's fucked up.
Yeah, Ogre, we did a collab a couple days ago, so you can go check that out.
Okay, I'll find it. Usually when people tell me that, it's funny you said that, Manic, because usually when people say that, I go check their shit out. It's like top notch. So we'll see.
Oh,
ignore me. No,
you guys can actually make videos. I can't make videos. In fact, I've got to work with Logical Line. He's going to take, because I'm old. It takes me forever to do stuff. So he's going to show me how to use OBS. But he was thinking, you know, he said to me, your thing is actually more just being on camera and talking about stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I couldn't make a video to save my life. But like today, I'm just using my avatar because I don't feel like showing my face. And I don't give a shit about showing my face. I've done it before, and that's fine. But I'm more just, I'll sit in my chair, and somebody asks me a question, I'll reply to it, and everybody's like, well, that's boring. It's like, well, what the fuck do you want me to do? I'm not creative about certain things, and it's like anything else. If somebody asks me a question, I'll answer it honestly. I don't want to go on a rant every 5 fucking seconds, and I can't do that. You know, like I love the bullshit and live stream with people, and I think that's the best thing that you can do.
Well, you could do what Danny Duchamp does if you know his channel. He's basically has a topic, he picks a topic, and then he just talks about it for 30 minutes, almost stream of consciousness like.
Yeah, or do what like Randomer Cam
what
does.
is going on your
does the same thing.
Looks like British memes.
Yeah, I had to show this because the first ranker was on yesterday. I think Zero wasn't actually in the thing, but he said he's gonna make a meme. And so he made this one. It says, hey, yeah, you can see it says, hey, man, you see that guy over there? He told me that Tony Blair is the best PM. And then look at the Britisher's face at the bottom, how he did it.
That would be
Where can I find that? Where can I find that?
I can send it to you, Caracal.
Yeah, send it to me.
Yeah,
Was
it's on
another one?
my thing.
Right.
Sorry, I'm digging the stream so far. It's a lot of fun. I wasn't going to do nothing. It's my Sabbath day. I'm Jewish also, so
yeah. I was only going to be on for an hour. Well, oops.
Chill.
Hey, Viper Sword 100 is in the chat. Hi, Viper. Thank you for coming.
Do you observe Sabbath, Finer?
Dude, I want to stream with you right now. Of course not.
Well, that don't mean you ain't breaking the Sabbath, really, are you? I mean,
okay, I'm not getting religious here, but I was always under the impression that Saturday was the Sabbath, because and that's today. Okay.
Yes.
I work nights, so I blank out occasionally. I work nights, I blank out, so it's like, okay, let's double check this, because for some weird ass reason, with Ogre being on Fridays normally, I'm thinking, oh, it's Friday again? Where the hell have I been?
All day Wednesday. You keep thinking.
Well,
only on Wednesdays do I think it's Friday, and it's really Saturday.
To Jews, the Sabbath starts at sundown and then ends at sundown on Saturday. But it was come to my attention that there couldn't be too many Jews because the first ranker is Swedish, so he's like, not too many people could be Jews because we have dark for months.
Yeah, see, I observed the Sabbath just in case.
Okay, well that's good. That's why. Very wise decision, sir. Shalom.
God will be like, hey, you tried. You didn't believe, but you tried.
Just to illustrate how bad of a Jew I am, I had a BLT today for breakfast.
Oh man. Oh, they.
No.
I don't eat
that
it,
would show
everybody.
how bad of a
that's-
Muslim you are.
Yeah, that's how much anti-Muslim he is.
Yes.
That's the same thing. But most people, you know what the funny thing is, a lot of folks in my family, Finer, they eat shrimp. They like get egg rolls. But pretty much, if you get it, is this the way in your family? If you get it at a Chinese restaurant, it don't count.
Well, that's mock shrimp.
That's mock
No,
shrimp.
man, you see shrimp and all
This
kinds of
shows
stuff.
how much of a bastard I am. I didn't have breakfast until 10 o'clock, and I cooked up a hot Italian bratwurst.
Oh, there you go.
And that's not beef. That's pork bratwurst.
God damn it,
No,
you guys
that's-
are making me hungry.
No, that's unclean, man.
Oh, I don't give a shit. I cooked it.
Well,
Hey, Coach, all you goys, you eat anything that crawl across your plate, man.
You know what it says on my birth certificate for my religious affiliation? It
None.
says, no, it actually says Protestant. You know what that means?
You protesting against the Catholic Church?
Yeah, pretty much. But I can be whatever religion I choose to be. I don't have to adhere to the falsified bullshit of the Catholic Church.
Well, you can always go Episcopalian, which is like Catholic light.
Oh wow,
If I wanted
Lutheran.
that, I would drink American beer.
that's a
Lutheran, same
Robin
thing.
Williams joke.
Yes, sir.
It's
Some
funny.
I
That's why I
totally pictured
replied-
you ripping him off.
And that's why I said the beer reply, because I knew it was Robin Williams.
All the religion, half the guilt.
Yeah. Same
Shit.
religion, half the guilt.
Half the guilt and 0 calories.
I'm the fucking Pope now. Har, har, har.
Well, they still drink that good wine too, man. I've been to a couple Lutheran services and Catholic, and when they bring that wine
Jesus'
around,
blood
man,
is
that's some
tasty,
high
man.
octane shit, buddy. You
Well,
think
then
golfing
they're doing it wrong, because actual wine was never really fermented the way we have it. It was actually grape. So it was actually more what we consider grape juice.
man, Catholic Church is the great beast in Revelation.
They
14.
are. They're
They're the Antichrist, man.
Well, no,
Pope
they're
is the
a bunch of
Antichrist.
fuck-ups, but that's for another stream.
Yeah, right.
But my point is, eat what you're gonna have for breakfast and enjoy it. And if you have served the Sabbath day, great. Because there's a lot other things on this planet that you really want to get to it. God's gonna condemn humanity for. But I digress for
Yeah,
another
you got
stream.
that right. You got that right. It's just a habit for me too, so I could clarify. I don't seem like a weird old Jew boy. It's just a habit for me. I grew up not eating pork. It was always told to me it was unclean, and so now I don't even. Everybody's like, bacon. You want some bacon, man? When I smell bacon frying, it smells like death and destruction to me, dude.
And it is a health. It's not so much that where it used to be that, but now in modern day, with the way foods are processed, it's one of the foods that is so highly sodium. It has so much sodium,
Nitrates and whatnot too.
and
man.
so it's more unhealthy because of how it's produced, as opposed to its original intent of it comes from a pig and they do this. And I was like, have you seen what they made this stuff out of? Sodium is off the freaking charts. That's why I don't eat it.
I need Logical Lion in here. Is the only other vegan I know on YouTube.
Oh, God.
He's if it's 11:35 Central Time, he's probably asleep.
No, I was just joking. Yeah, if you think I'm fucking,
I'm not waking his
that's all
ass
we
up.
need. Get him in here. It'll be over. It's over.
But my point is, think about how food's made these days. Some of it, is made very well. Some of it's made very poorly because we have to feed large amounts of people. And people bitch about sugar content over here in America. You should be more worried about sodium content.
Leave my bacon alone, bitch.
Go back to Luna
Nobody
Games and
wants
play
to
some
touch
video
your
games
bacon,
again. Leave me
maniac.
alone. Nobody wants to touch your bacon, let alone the ladies.
This is not new information to me.
We were all,
Well, it is to everybody else, so we're just keeping them up to speed with you.
All right, I'm giving him the updates.
We're giving them the updates.
Nobody wants to fuck my bacon.
Nobody wants to touch his bacon. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Hey, is a bit of a goer.
I
Bet
see
she
what
was.
you
Bet she
did there.
was.
that was the first time I've ever heard you pull an accent convincingly. Zero. That was good.
Well done.
Well done. Yeah. Golf clap.
Oh, yeah. Where are you taking
this,
that
boys.
from? Where are you taking that from? Men at Work, by the way.
What?
Golf clap, golf clap.
No, just decided to do a golf clap.
Okay.
That
So,
was a
yeah,
funny
no.
movie. Men at work. That was
Holy crap!
It's
It's
easy as fuck, but it's hilarious.
It was funny.
You're not allowed to be on camera in the
I
status.
worked as a sanitation. I worked as what we would call, basically I was a garbage man, but we have a different name for it now. They call it sanitational engineer. It's not engineering, but garbage man. And I actually watched that movie, and the first time I ever saw that movie was in high school. And then when I got out of high school, one of my first 2 jobs besides working at Wendy's, I went to work for the city in garbage. And one day we were, throwing garbage away, and there was literally a bowling ball, and I just looked at it. I picked it up. My fingers didn't fit in. It was a smaller one. It was more for a kid. But I'm holding it like, an orb, and my coworker's like, "What the fuck are you thinking, Dane?" I said, "Have you ever seen that movie Men at Work?" He goes, "Oh shit, you're not really gonna do it." It's like, "Oh fuck, I am." I rolled it right down the alleyway into traffic, and it bounced off a guy's car, and I never got fired for it. And they said, and my boss found out, and he goes, "The fuck were you thinking?" I said, "Have you seen that movie Men at Work?" He goes, "Oh shit, go home."
I couldn't fucking let it go, man. I could
not let that shit go.
It was an opportunity, man. It was an opportunity.
And that's the funny thing. We watch movies and TV shows that we see and say, "Oh, I would love to do that." Those things present themselves, and you damn well know we do it. From the absolute obscene. That is incredibly ludicrous. We will do it.
Hey, Leonardo Domaniac, you're strangely alluring to me. What's been going on in your life, friend?
Nothing at all. Making videos, trying to get a fucking company off the ground, and now going sober. How are you?
Yeah, I've been sober, dude, a little over a month and a half, and I got to tell you, it's utter hell for myself. But I think they keep saying it gets easier. I'm waiting.
You fucking asshole! Don't make shit worse for me.
Yeah, well, we don't have to talk. I don't want to talk about it. That's like somebody said go to AA. I was like, I decided to not drink, and now you want me to go to a fucking room full of people that are going to talk about booze?
How they drink?
I don't want to fucking talk about it. So yeah,
I mean, shit. You have friends that you can just talk about your previous fucking, your parties with. That, if you want to talk about drinking, why go listen to horror stories when you can listen to good fucking stories?
And business is off the ground. I'm an entrepreneur. I have been my whole life. I've owned a couple, sold 3 for profits every time, and starting one right now as we speak.
You're so Jewish.
Keep at it, man. It's hard work, but it's rewarding.
Did you just say that's so Jewish?
Yes, I did.
That's so Jewish.
It is too. It's so Jewish. My grandpa.
It doesn't look like a Jewish princess.
Funny. Doesn't look Jewish.
Doesn't look Jewish. No, that's kind of the thing that you say. That's the thing you say about AA. I find that severely fucking counterproductive, because if you're a large person and people tell you to go to Weight Watchers, they try to tell you to go there for support. But what I found out just from sitting in on 1 or 2 of those things, and I did this for AA, and I've never been a drinker. I just wanted to see what the hell this was all about. It's war stories and horror stories. It's like, why do you people do this shit? Yeah, and so why would you want to go to one of these things? It's not that I would say don't do it, because for some people it does help because it scares the shit out of them. But if it's kind of like, why are you saying, oh, I did this and I did all this, and I'm like, did you learn anything from it? And they fail to answer that question. It's like, okay, it's very simple. I used to drink 1 in the morning, then I had 1 for lunch, then 1 for dinner, and then I started skipping, and then all I did was drink, and then I sobered up and went to AA. And I said, well, did you learn anything from doing all that drinking? And they fail to answer the question. It's like, okay, if you can't answer the question, you've learned nothing and you will relapse. So what's the fucking point of AA? And if it's to go get laid, then you obviously have 0 to low standards.
You ain't getting
alcoholics.
So. Just gave me like a Fight Club flashback.
Yep. I was just thinking that.
Well, this is what I'm curious about for the idiot or anybody. I smoke herb.
That's what I'm sober with.
To the idea that if you smoke pot, you're not sober. You're still just as if you were drinking whiskey, like I used to do all the time.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I don't count pot.
Okay.
Well, the federal government doesn't agree. That's actually why I had to quit. That's what I'm talking about. I don't drink. I'm a dickhead when I'm drunk. So
when we start lining up the lobbyists and shooting them, and then we'll see how much the government agree or doesn't agree with shit.
Nah, bro, I live in a legal state, man.
So do I, but they still fucking piss test me for every fucking job.
Oh well,
that's the job. The job has the right to do that. That's their standards.
No, but
I know that. Why do you think I'm quitting?
This is something that's happening.
But quitting working or quitting smoking weed?
Quitting smoking weed. Quitting working didn't pan out. I ran out of weed anyway.
I know, right?
You became.
Well, if
Nobody was going to give me dope. I don't get it.
If you find yourself in any kind of trouble or on probation in any way, and this is what's messed up, even in a legal state, they will say, well, you can't use X, Y, and Z, and marijuana is always on the list. In this state, you have to have a doctor's note. And I know people, man, that just refused and ended up violating probation because they said, well, my medical card and from the state of Michigan says the only place I can't smoke marijuana is in public places, schools, or so if you put me in jail, I can't smoke. But other than that, I'm going to smoke. And I've seen people arrested for that because they were on probation. That is a racket. That's the definition of a racket. When you have a state that says it's legal, but now because you're in trouble, that just shows that once you get in trouble, all they want to do is keep you in trouble. That's all.
Oh yeah, it's not a corrections. There's no correcting going on with the Department of Corrections. It's just it seems to make shit worse. Or keep you in, because ultimately, when you're a convict, there's no, if you do your time, yeah, you're forgiven, but we never forget.
It's
Final Print, thanks for having me on the stream, but I think I'm going to opt out. I still have some work to do, but this was fun.
Yeah.
Like much longer than I planned.
Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.
No problem, man.
Good to see you,
guys.
bro.
I subbed you, man.
Oh yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Well, now that he's gone, we can talk shit about him.
I'll unlist the stream afterwards.
I take a piss for like 3 minutes and he leaves. What a chicken shit.
Wait, you were gone? I've been hearing you talk this whole fucking time.
No, I was over taking a piss. I'm not gonna too much information to be sure, but I don't pay attention to everything that goes on anyway.
Good tell.
I fade in and out. It happens.
That's all right.
It's like that one quote from Family Guy where Peter is talking about Special K and Regular K and the cereal, and then Brian says, "Do you even listen to yourself talking?" He goes, "I drifted in and out."
Yeah. I can actually see that happening. Holy shit, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just listening to you fucks. See, my brain doesn't operate quite right without weed. I've been without for now 2 days, and now it's just everything's just fucking annoying all the time.
I've always maintained that some people function better being high. And
I never got high.
No, but being on pot or whatever, and it's a fucking it's fucking stupid because when my first job was working at Wendy's right out of high school, and I used to work with this guy. He came in stoned all the time, and he got Employee of the Month 3 months in a row until he took the piss test and failed it. And it's like you
do realize why he got the employee of the month, because he's a fucking nice guy when he's stoned. He comes in sober, he's gonna start throwing chairs at fucking customers.
That was pretty accurate. He was a cranky ass fuck when he wasn't stoned, and that and it just surprised people. It's like, well, did you know he was stoned? I said, yeah, I knew he was stoned all the time. Who didn't say anything? I said, do you hear the customers bitching? No. Then what's the
shut
problem?
The fuck up.
No, I actually had to go in and talk to my boss who. He ended up buying the franchise here, and he's an asshole. But he says, did you know Andrew over there was stoned for the past 3 months? I said, yeah, practically every day. And he goes, well, how come you and Tyler didn't say anything? And we didn't give a shit. Why not? I said, did you hear the customers bitching about it? No.
And it's fucking Wendy's. Come on, man.
And you're making money.
Got to be stoned to work there.
And, well, no, I was sober all the time. I did it to pay off my first truck.
Doubt it.
I don't drink. I've never done drugs, and I never.
You think Stout protested too much?
Oh, you're protesting so much.
My problem is soda.
Bacon soda and pot. That's what you do.
Bacon soda. I wish. But no, seriously. And then they said, well, you need to tell us if he's stoned. I said, I'm not telling you nothing. Well, then you can go home and
I'm gonna do this big old
I don't give a shit.
For you, man. This is like some
fucking hate you right now. I fucking hate you right now.
Ogre, at least turn off the camera.
I hope your Sabbath turns out shitty.
Turn the camera off.
No, you're fine. I just
and,
I didn't know.
So what happened was our boss sent us all three home for the day, and he couldn't manage the shift for anything.
Nah, dude, just say it's tobacco.
That's what you get for sending a guy home that was stoned. That's a good employee, and sending home 2 people who didn't report on him because we didn't give a shit because he was a good person to work with.
Do you breathe?
Do you bleed?
No. Do you breathe?
I breathe all the time.
Well, it's hard to tell.
That's because, unlike everybody else, I've learned to breathe through my nose and exhale through my mouth, and I can talk in rampant, long sentences without sounding, you know, like I need to go.
Oh, so you're not
like every other politician on the planet.
Ooh, I'm gonna cut that bit out where you were just huffing like that.
Well,
I'm downloading this.
It was
stream
paint
already,
fumes,
Finder
by the
Print. I'm
way.
downloading. There's some gems in here.
It was paint fumes.
There's some real gems.
Makes you
in
feel
this
any
one.
better? I was huffing paint fumes right there.
Yeah, it's a bummer, man. I think that anybody that tells somebody they shouldn't smoke marijuana should be kicked in the balls, you know, in downtown in front of everybody, and then be mocked, put in the stocks, and have rotten tomatoes thrown.
Unfortunately, my therapist made the suggestion because she wanted to give me a new medication, but in order to do it, because it's a class 2 drug, I have to be completely clean and sober, and I figured, fuck it, might as well get a job as well.
Well, see, there she's the one who's on drugs to give you a new medication, which she's probably getting kickbacks from.
Right.
Hey, whatever. She's the one with the PhD, and I'm the idiot, so I'm gonna go ahead and listen to her.
I would hope not.
See, with me, it's more self-imposed.
But see, also what I do for a living is I work over a computer at home, and I help people deal with Medicare expenses. So I have to be able to talk rapidly because I'm dealing with people in their 70s and 80s who are pissy ass because I ain't got time for this. Hurry up! So
that was a good
have
hit.
to talk at a rapid fire.
Yeah, well, I'm too busy watching.
Face on Reddit is that just blew my freaking
Your
door.
face is red.
Oh
my God, your face is red.
Got it down there.
Massive blast. Probably 1/10 of a gram of oil for the man, the maniac. Hang on a second. I can't.
Here we go.
He's gonna die. We're gonna watch somebody die on a live stream. This is going to be so depressing.
Oh
I'm
my!
I'm downloading this shit if that happens.
No, and if
Okay,
I did die, we'd all be famous because I'd be the first person in the history of man to die from the consumption of marijuana. But look, it made me cry, and it stuffed me all up.
You're making me cry, you fucker.
Oh, it's a blast.
I'm gonna cry, and then
on
Maniac's
record,
gonna
Stop
cry,
bragging about how stoned I
and
am
then
already.
Finder's gonna cry, and Ogre's crying. Then we're all gonna cry.
No, I'm not gonna cry. I think there are 2 recorded deaths from marijuana, but it wasn't because of overdose. I think one of them was a guy falling asleep. No, it was a guy who fell asleep to a burning joint.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, burned the house down.
That happens.
And a woman who fell asleep and vomited and choked on her own vomit.
But that wasn't weed. Alcohol and marijuana combined.
Yeah, that wasn't weed all by itself, and more importantly, it's physically impossible to OD on weed.
It's an antiemetic. Marijuana is a very powerful antiemetic. It's just, you know, so
yeah.
But
I don't know how anybody could die from smoking weed. They're probably too busy eating shit.
I don't get the munchies, man. Maybe it's because I smoked for a long time, but like I get high. I just see this is what I got to guard from because next thing, Manic Idiot be like, fucking ogre.
You know that your dog's behind you, watching you, keeping an eye on you. That's why you're not going to suffer.
I love my dog. I love my
dog's keeping an eye on Dad. It's like, all right, Dad, smoke your pot, but you go retard, I'm going to get your ass bit.
She hates weed, man. She hates
Never
weed.
go full on retard.
Yep.
She hates the smell of it. She don't like weed, man. She don't like booze, like beer.
See, she just left. She's like, fuck you guys, I'm out.
Yeah. Well, she could probably smell it. I'm telling you, I just did that big hit, and I was turning around looking at her. I've never like blown hits at her, but she's been in the room when I'm doing a big chief out. And as soon as it's like weed a lot, man, she'll sniff a couple times. And, you know,
oh, she's like, oh, I had to go grab my blanket.
Yeah, you've seen that before, huh? Look at this fucking blanket, dude. Look at this. And I don't care what, I've got to go buy these throws. It's a little fleece throw. I've got to buy these because if I don't, she'll go get the blanket off the bed and start on it. And my bro, the king, he likes to laugh and says she's blanketing the area when she takes a dump because she will poop. Oh, look, I don't have to try. I bend over and I pick some bitches up all the time. These are little like patches that
thank Christ. I thought you were going to pick up poop.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought. It's like, here, check out this dung.
This ain't no hoarder sauce.
Another first.
Boy, did that just not lead us where we didn't want to go?
Yeah, I mean, he is
now I am going to shut. See, I got stoned. I'm just going to round on.
No dog shit on the Sabbath, man.
Yeah, no, you can't handle it on the Sabbath.
Not in the house.
No, it's a rule. It's the new God rule. No dog shit on the Sabbath. You make that dog hold it in. Put a fucking plug up his butt.
My dog's actually sitting behind me and sleeping and snoring. So,
don't you have a bulldog?
No, I have a Tring Walker Coonhound.
Oh, you got a coonhound, Walker?
Yes, sir.
Oh, No, that was white YouTuber that said he has a bulldog.
Oh, okay.
It's probably a good thing I don't have my camera on
Collab?
because my cat is currently mugging the camera looking at you guys.
Yeah, Lily, if she's seen it, she wouldn't like it. Come here, little dog. She don't even give a crap right now. I'd like for y'all to see her, but she's just looking at her blanket. Put it down, dummy. Lily, come here. All right, forget the blanket. Forget the blanket. Come here. Come here.
I have my cat is look, it's one of those cats that looks so much like they've got tiger stripes. If you guys know what a Iriomote mountain cat from Japan is, that's what my cat looks like without the fucking.
They call them tabbies, right? When they look like tiger stripes. Like that?
Yeah, but she's got the Iriomote mountain cat design on her with the funky spots and all that shit. But she's a tabby though. But she's looking right at the camera, and she just this fucking cat. Great cat, better guard dog than my daughter's dog, which is a 2-year-old black lab. But fucking, she don't like the camera. So that's why I don't have my camera on today.
That's all right.
Feliz Navidad.
Do you really want to see a close up of a cat's inside her nose?
Like his butthole?
No, her nose. I mean,
Yeah, let's get a cat
literally.
colonoscopy going.
No, no
Yes.
thanks.
I've heard if you put peanut butter on your schlong, man, and the cat will lick it off.
Okay, that's it. You know
Is
what?
that-
You've gone
that
full
2-0?
retard.
All right, folks.
That's
This
too
was a
much
very nice
people.
live stream.
That's fucking going full potato ogre. That's
Oh no, I just heard that people did that. Is that true?
no, that's a dog, by the way, not a cat.
Yeah.
Oh, a dog. So you
If
so
you
it's a
ever had a
dog.
cat, you would know that you don't want your cat to lick your wiener.
All right, no, that was stupid.
Enough. Quit going full potato. Let's talk about something that's fucking retarded.
I think we put that full retard. Never go full retard.
Yeah, we've gone full retard with that one.
Yep. Yeah. I think I'll rename the stream to the full
But,
retard
but
stream.
Oh god, it'll get removed almost immediately.
Yeah.
Call it a phallic peanut.
No, but in all
Phallic peanut
seriousness,
stream.
guys, I've got to get going.
Yeah.
Oh
Dave,
man,
thank you
I
so
see
much.
how it is. It's all right. I'm leaving too. Man.
I love when you guys go full retard, but unfortunately, I have to get going. So, finer print, good first live stream, even though we've gone full potato.
That's
It was
okay.
awesome.
Probably do a Sabbath stream later where I answer some Jew questions,
There you go, Jew boy.
and then and I want like people to come in randomly like that and say shit like Hitler didn't do enough or
Hitler didn't do anything wrong.
yeah,
Didn't do nothing.
didn't do
Didn't do
nothing.
nothing muffins.
I swear I've been watching these raids,
I
man.
gotta get out of here. Everybody have a great day. I'll see you
Peace
guys.
out,
See you
man.
later,
I
man.
thought he left later on, Zero.
All right, bye.
I thought he'd gone already.
No, he had to keep
wish.
talking. Like now.
I'm gonna keep talking if you don't shut up.
Oh, there,
Live
he's there.
stream. What are we
He's
supposed
there.
to do? Just sit here and fucking be quiet for the next 20 minutes?
No, it's your
Yes.
turn. See, when he leaves,
I'm
it's your
kidding.
turn, bro. That's cool.
Exactly.
Later, Zero.
There we go.
Would you boot him?
No. Oh man. Well, thank you guys so much for coming. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, hey, no problem. That was a lot of fun. Sorry, I nearly bailed on the beginning, but yeah, I went to lay
No,
down and shit didn't work out. I had no weed. Now I'm up all the fucking time.
It's fine. You'll get used to it. My weed celibacy is self-imposed because I don't function very well when I'm high. So
Oh, I function. That's how I had functioned. It's why I had friends at all.
well, I mean, my wife when she smokes, she has to do shit. She has to all right, let's go clean the house, or let's go dig up the garden, or let's reseed the whole entire front lawn. I'm like, I just want to sit here, watch a fucking movie, and munch. I can't be productive. You know what I mean?
You must be getting some really potent shit. There are different strains that'll do fucking different shit to you.
We actually did some self horticultural project last year and got some pretty good shit out of it. So, but no, I mean, for me, it's I like enjoying my high. I mean, I like to get creative. Like I like to write music on it or edit videos on it, but I can't mop the fucking floor. You know?
I can't find my fucking feet.
Exactly. I'm like, I've been cleaning this spot for 20 minutes and it's still dirty. Well, you're not using water, idiot.
And that's not an actual stain. That's a tile. Just happens to be the black tile.
Exactly. Yeah. But I mean that's why I stopped, and I'm also working full time now, so I'm like I can't smoke and then the next day go to work and be like all hungover because that's what happens to me.
You get
hungover from weed?
Bad weed, yes. Hash when I was back home, That was my narcotic of choice. I would go with hash because it would be a milder high, and I wouldn't get that bad like cotton mouth in the morning. So yeah.
You're weak.
Oh, dude, I've been smoking weed more than you've had hot dinners.
I really doubt that.
It's just that in Israel you get really shit weed, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, there you go. You're getting that Jewish weed.
And it's not Jewish. It's Palestinian actually.
Israel?
Yeah, yeah. You get Palestinian weed because we don't really get it. You know.
Aw, I wanted my weed with a yarmulke.
Well, I mean, there are some innovations that are coming out of Israel on that front, so that's
Hey,
good.
there you go. Hey,
Yeah.
you know, maybe one day my dream will come true.
Yeah, we'll get you some of that Talmudic chronic.
There you go. Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. Yeah, there you go.
I don't even know what that means.
What, Mazel tov or Talmudic?
Or I don't know any of your Yiddish.
Oh, it's not neither of. It's Hebrew.
Hebrew, Yiddish, it's all the same to me.
Yeah, the Talmud is like the study of how to live your life as a good.
Yeah, I
person.
skipped that class.
And then Mazel Tov literally means congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right, on. So at least it's not a swear.
No. I can give you some cuss words if you want.
No, I don't know if I have enough phlegm for your cuss words.
I can give you one without any Fleming.
All right, go ahead.
All right, ready?
Ready.
Benzona.
Benzona.
No, not benzona.
Benzonite?
Benzona.
Benzona.
There you go.
What is it?
It means literal translation is son of a whore.
Benzona.
Yeah.
All right.
So there you
Well,
go.
I ain't gonna say it because I'm gonna fuck it up.
You can always text me, DM me on Twitter. Hey, how do I say that?
Benzona.
How do I say that cuss word again?
Because that's
And then
just
you what? Spell it out phonetically.
Could you
Sure,
like
I'll put it in the side chat.
say it like Benzona, and then how would you use that in a sentence?
How would I use it in a sentence?
Yeah, I
It's
know
like
that's a
such and such benzona.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Ogre, ya benzona.
Okay, that's it. There you go.
Yeah.
Ogre is a son of a whore, is what that means.
Yeah. Well, son of a bitch, basically, is the correct translation, but not the literal translation.
Idiot Benzona. And it's not
Like you have
I'm
pop.
surprised you can do that without coughing, man. I'm impressed.
It's funny. Well, it's like the sand languages all have that element of.
Have either one of you guys watched,
Doop.
have either one of you guys watched the Zohan with Adam Sandler?
Man, I tried to.
Nah.
My wife turns to me and she's been to Israel and she's like, "Is it true? Do they really act like that?" I'm like, "No."
You do realize this is an Adam Sandler movie?
Yeah.
Do you think golfers act like that? No, it's Happy fucking Gilmore.
Yeah. All right. How about that guy that he cast in all of his movies? What's his name?
Rob Schneider?
Yeah. I mean, that guy is a walking, talking bad cliche of all the bad stereotypes that you ever get. This is the reason.
And yet he says smart shit on Twitter. It's fucking weird.
I know, but the characters that he plays are the reason we get Mary Claire and Jezebel.
You can do it. Come on. He had the occasional line that was okay.
Well, you can do it as iconic for sure. Yeah.
So
but
yeah, Rob Schneider to me he's one of those guys that he probably shouldn't have had a career, and I'm jealous that he has a career because he's terrible. But hey, you know what? Apparently people like him.
Good for
Adam
him.
Sandler clearly likes him.
Adam Sandler clearly has a boner for Henry Winkler.
Of course, he was the Fonz, man.
The Fonz. That's about.
Hey,
think about
operative word was. I mean, have you seen the commercials that he's doing nowadays? He has his pants up to his tits.
Yeah, he's just another old dude.
But he can still get the chicks and still.
He played in a made-for-TV movie about Scrooge. A Christmas Story.
Oh, okay.
And that was one of the best Christmas Carol. Yeah, sorry, and that's one of the best. Well, Christmas Story. That's one of my favorites. But another idea rattling up in there.
You'll shut your
eye. That is, if you all haven't seen that, he played a dude that ran like a kind of a pawn shop kind of deal. You come buy just about anything from him or bring him stuff, and he'd loan you money on your property. But then he was like They really Jewed it up, man. I don't know how I feel about it all together, but it was a good role for him.
Well, I actually liked him in The Waterboy, even though The Waterboy was a shitty ass movie. I actually kind of liked his. He was a really good, just kind of pushover coach. So I mean, it was one of those. I forgot he was even alive when The Waterboy came out. I was like, oh my god, I thought you were dead. My bad.
You have to give it to that. That is a good role too. Also, that's a good one. Fonzie, he was never convincing to me once I got older and was like, huh, that guy's supposed to be the toughest dude in town and all the chicks are on him. That ain't right. That's Hollywood nonsense.
Hey, it made all us.
Hey. All right, everybody together. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Hey. I was more on cue than you motherfuckers.
Well, man, I tried some of that shit, like hitting my locker. You can't do that, man. Bump your locker twice and then pop it once and it opens, and then the jukebox. It was a Fonzo. He jumped the shark.
He literally jumped the shark.
Literally jumped the shark and literally invented the term.
He invented jumping the shark, yes.
Yep.
But I watched Happy Days, to be fair, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. You sounded like you wanted to get out of here, Finer Print. I might split pretty soon. I want to hear more from the Manic guy. I'll tell you what, too, bro. A couple times in my life, as I drove truck at once, I had to quit smoking weed. Just hang in there. You sound a lot like myself. I don't smoke a ton, but I do smoke marijuana for my own reasons. And one of those reasons.
Yeah. I didn't smoke a lot. It was just pretty much a regular smoke just to keep me on sane level.
More socially acute.
Yeah, basically.
You're gonna make it, man. You're gonna be all right.
Well, I've quit before. I went a year just to find out if I was addicted to it or not. It was just one of those things that I was just kind of curious if I could make it a year, and I made it without a problem. And so then I started smoking again, and I was like, oh, this is why I started smoking in the first place.
Yeah.
Nothing is better than quitting and then restarting.
Well, that's true. I take tolerance breaks quite often.
Yeah, I mean, I know that my next toke is going to be so freaking potent, I'll be stoned for 3 days.
And yeah, you'll make an 8th last 2 weeks as opposed to 20 fucking minutes.
For 3 days. That's some dank. Then the weed, I get high. It does have its side effects. I enjoy them. But to be honest, I mean, it never is more than like a couple hours. I wouldn't even know that I smoked anything. Basically, no matter how strong it is.
Yeah.
That oil, I mean, there's all this, and it's not necessarily new. People have been extracting the trichromes, the bulbous-headed stock trichromes, using dry ice and liquid nitrogen for decades. And BHO, too, using butane for decades. But it wasn't so. It was usually people that grew it indoor, and they didn't just want to throw their leaf out, but it was illegal. And so they wanted to get this. And so they did. If they didn't sell it, it'd be astronomically priced, like $100 for a gram of hash of good oil. And anyway, I'll ramble on about that. But
no,
even
it's
the
cool.
oil, it give about 2 hours, and the effects are all gone.
Yeah, for me, it was just a personality a stabilizer, I guess. But it was never one that I looked at as a solution, because ultimately what ended up happening is weed just makes me not give a shit about my problems, or give a shit about anything. So 90% of the things that would piss me off and annoy me, weed would just kind of balance that shit out to where I'd be like, who cares? Doesn't matter. Yeah, but then I'm sober. I'm just like, I gotta correct this person. He's wrong. I can't let a guy go away wrong. That is wrong.
Yeah. And I think that's probably why I enjoyed our collab as much as I did, because it was really well written the way we both did it. I thought.
Nah, it was shit. Don't get him thinking I'm any good.
Dude.
You're the one who fucking made it.
No, I'm sorry. Your script writing was definitely helpful here.
Okay, we're just sucking each other's dicks at this point. So
well, let's not start sucking each other's dicks quite yet.
Oh, where did fucking Ogre go? Did he just banish himself?
Ooh, I don't know. He said he was gonna split, so.
Well, I know, but usually people say goodbye and shit, and he just kind of he smoked a bowl and then fucking bounced.
Well, no, I mean, Zero did mention earlier that he has a problem when he's not hosting it. Sometimes his computer will fuck up, and he'll drop out for a few minutes.
Does he have a YouTube channel?
What's that?
Does he have a YouTube channel?
Yes, it's called The Laughing Ogre. I'll put it on the side chat for you.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed our collaboration as much as I did, because as much as I love the collab with Whitey, with the white YouTuber, it wasn't a collaborative effort so much as it was me recording my bits and then him, you know,
Responding to
his.
your recording, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I really like the writing aspect because, especially with another person, because ultimately I have trouble keeping on track. So when you sent me that thing, it was the full script. So I'm going, fuck, I was expecting like page 1.5. Okay, it's your time. So so it forced me to go, okay, I have to fit myself in here somewhere, which was a writing exercise for me.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, I've done writing before. I've done script writing before, so it's easy for me, I guess. Maybe I'm taking it for granted or something, but I think the way, and not to disparage white YouTuber, I love the guy. He's the one who's responsible for me having over 400 subs at the moment. But the way that he does it, I'm sure it's to save time and everything, but it's not a true collaborative effort. It's a joint response, if you will. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And some people prefer doing that. So as much as, you know, it may not be something you like, it may be something that's just right down his fucking alley. So, you know, and ultimately you got two different styles to practice now. You had his way, you had our way, and then if you collab with somebody else, they may have a completely different way that you fucking hate or love even more and now think I'm shit.
No, I think
what was I doing with that guy?
I think if I ever do a collaboration, I think I'll do it the same way that you and I did it, because I think it's more productive that way. And shit, man, we got that video up in what, 3 days time?
Yep.
And
only took me about 8 hours to edit.
Yeah, and it was awesome. I even showed it to my wife, and she was like, "That's fucking funny."
Good.
She didn't get, because my wife's a bit of a normie. She didn't get the end section where I was kind of like ribbing you.
Oh, I
like,
felt bad.
Why would you say that to him? Like, that's so rude. I'm like, no, baby, don't get it.
We talk shit to each other because it's funny.
Yes.
But no, I felt bad because I completely forgot that you had mentioned you were going to do that, and then when I got to editing and I got to the very end, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Because it was at the very, very end, and I go, oh shit, that's right. I don't feel like recording now. I'm already done with the editing. That would require a whole new set of recording.
That's fine, man. That's all right.
So yeah, one of these videos, I'll just throw in some shit talking to you just at random,
and I'll respond in kind, man. We can make it a thing.
Start some internet drama that's not real.
Yeah, kind of like
that's the best internet drama. You know, when the two people that are in it, they know it's fucking shit. It's fucking bullshit.
Right. Well, we can't really discuss it on live stream here.
Yeah.
Everybody will be able to see it.
Or everybody being what, the 20 or whatever, I'm guessing.
4.
There are 4?
4 viewers. There's 4 people interested in what we have to say, which is, to me, incredible.
Hey, yeah, that's absolutely. But 4 is definitely more than 0.
Yes.
I did a live stream with no audience.
With who?
I said I did a live stream once with no audience.
Oh, there you go.
It was fucking awkward because I had no idea who I was talking to.
But really, seriously, I've been looking for somebody to do like almost like a podcast.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
But it doesn't have to be like an every week kind of thing. We can do it like once a month or once every 2 weeks or something like that. Or will you be interested in something like that?
I would definitely be interested in something like that. I don't know if I could do it as a regular thing, but if you wanted to, if you were like going to have a rotating guest thing, was that something you were thinking, or did you want to have somebody permanent?
I was hoping for more of a permanent thing, but if you want to come in, you know, on you know.
Well, I'm whimsical. Basically, I do things when I feel like it.
Oh, well, that's fine.
So structure tends to turn me off.
Oh, no. I wasn't talking about like, you know, here, read this.
Oh,
you know?
Okay.
More like, you know, we select like 2 or 3 topics, kind of like what Honey Badger does.
Okay.
But we don't necessarily have to stick to a format.
Okay.
You know, just discuss it and talk about it and say, hey, you know, this is what I think, and that kind of
stuff.
I
would definitely be willing to at least give it a try, see how it goes.
Yeah, man, let's try it, you know, at least something. More content.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm having trouble coming up with my own shit. Might as well work off of you. Maybe I can steal some of your fucking, you know, some of your fucking talent.
Hey, man, I'm not that talented.
Dude, you're one of the few that actually gets me fucking laughing regularly just by, and part of it is your avatar choice. I won't even lie. There's
Did
just,
did you see the last video I made?
I did.
What did you think about the new expressions?
I didn't get a chance. I was listening. I didn't watch it.
Ah, okay. Yeah, just take a look at it and shoot me a DM and tell me what you think.
Okie dokie. I will do that again.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. I typically watch the people that I watch. I'll watch each of their videos 2 to 3 times just in case.
I'll tell you something. I've been watching Razor Fist a lot, and I've been rewatching his video about why Hillary lost, like over and over again. It's just so freaking good.
Okay.
You should check it out.
Razor, not the Rageaholic.
Yes, the Rageaholic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you like him or not, but I
am sub to him apparently. I must have seen a video that I liked and went, "This guy's good."
Oh, this guy's amazing. He just hit 100,000 subs, and he's criminally undersubbed, in my opinion.
What should he be like, out doing PewDiePie?
Well, not PewDiePie, but he should be in like Sargon levels. You know, that the level of intellect that we're talking about here is just skyrocketing.
Yeah, I'll have to give this guy, because he's got a few videos off of his top that I can see that I'm actually already interested in checking out. But yeah, it's weird. I don't remember subbing to this guy.
Do you like metal music?
I do.
All right. He has a series that's called Metal Mythos, where he looks at famous bands and breaks down their albums, you know.
Oh, that's where I fucking... Okay.
Yeah.
That's where I saw him.
Unbelievably detailed, and he gives his own opinion. I disagree with him on some issues, especially when it comes to Iron Maiden. I don't think that Paul Di'Anno was all that great. But I mean, yeah, check him out. Absolutely.
I will definitely do so. Like I said, I'm already subbed, so it shouldn't be a big deal. But it's weird. I've never seen any of his fucking shit roll up on my subscription feed.
Well, here's the thing. I have not been getting notifications until yesterday. I for some reason, the YouTube app on my phone would just not pop or push notifications for me.
Huh.
It was weird. It's like I'm not getting any updates on any of my subscriptions.
Well, I don't have notifications on for me. I just I typically will go through and people I will watch. I'll go, okay, I need to catch up on so and so, and you know, because I haven't watched them in a week. But 90% of the things that I'm looking at is my subscription feed. Right. And certain people do not show up, and weirder still, certain people I don't sub to show up.
Well, that's the whole YouTube algorithm in play.
Like for example, Onision shows up on my subscription feed even though I'm not sub to him.
Have you watched videos that are related to Onision?
No, I've watched a lot of Onision's videos.
No. I watched content that's related to him, like let's say Joy Sparkle BS.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Well, that's why. That's the algorithm at work there.
But they shouldn't show up in my subscription feed, should they? Because that's where I go to look to where the people that I have subscribed to.
No, I understand. But if you're looking at your subscription feed on your computer, you should check to see if it says recommended for you or something like that on the top.
Nope, it's just my subscriptions. Like 99% of them are people I sub to, but every now and then, like Jacksepticeye, I had subbed to him a while back, but then I unsubbed from him just because I didn't watch his shit anymore. And he still shows up on my fucking subscription feed.
I think it's the problem that Google operates anything that they have out right now as a beta. Gmail still runs as a beta.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This site's just I don't get why. I mean, I get why they're doing it from a financial perspective. It's just been a fucking money pit since they bought it, but the direction they're going really seems more backwards. Because even if you wanted to make another Netflix, you're going up against fucking Netflix, an established company that does their job very well. Not
to mention HBO and Amazon Prime and all the other services that are out there.
You're too late for that boat. Even if you get on board with it, you're not gonna. What made YouTube special was that it was free and that it was people.
Yep.
And now they're like, well, we don't want that anymore. We want corporate, because that's where the money is. The money's in corporate.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, that's why I started my VidMe account. You know, From the word go a couple days ago, I'm like, all right, got to do this.
Nope, that's what I did when I started
Yeah.
my VidMe account. Was when they started doing the did another change a while back, and I was just like, you know what, fuck you too. I'm gonna go to VidMe and just double up. And if something happens, I think a bunch of people were getting flagged and shit for no reason. And I think I even got flagged. Well, yeah, I did. I got flagged on one of my videos and got a
Really?
strike, and then I got it taken away. And then the strike was taken off because I had fair use.
What was it? What was the video about?
It wasn't what the video was about. It was a clip I had used in the video.
Oh. Okay.
But
Yeah.
ultimately, you can't argue. If they tried to take it to court, the fact of the matter is I'm not stealing from whatever movie I was stealing from. I can't even remember.
No, that's what fair use is all about. But yeah. I mean,
Yeah. If it's a
look,
joke, if it's a parody, if I'm talking about it, whatever, it's allowed. I just can't show the whole fucking movie.
well, what I've been doing in my videos, especially with clips like, let's say the Forrest Gump clip, is I would go in Premiere and go to the speed duration and just increase the speed by 5%.
Oh yeah.
You know?
That's a good trick, especially if you use music. Increase or decrease the speed by 10% and adjust some of the audio so it doesn't distort. And you can put music in there.
Yeah, exactly.
But one of the other way to get away from it is enhance the picture. So let's say you fill up, let's say you have 1280 and it's full, make it bigger so that it's more zoomed in on your video footage, and for some reason that also works.
Or flip it, yeah.
Yeah. It's just you're going all of it's automated. So if it looks different enough, it won't pick it up. The only way that somebody will be able to do anything will be as if they report you directly.
Exactly. No, I mean that's just stupid shit. I agree with you. It should not be an issue, especially if it's covered under fair use. But that's what happens when you have companies like Disney who have been re-upping their IPOs, all of them, consistently for the past 50 years. So even if 150 years from now you try to use Mickey Mouse, it'll still be covered under their patent.
Yeah, great.
Because what happens is, if you look at it, certain creations, even after they've been copyrighted, like let's say after 78 years or something like that, it expires. You can't renew it anymore because you have to allow for fair competition. What Disney's been doing is just been continuously re-upping them in some fashion. I'm not exactly sure how they do it, or they lobby to lengthen the period of time for patents to exist.
Or they just have lawyers that found a loophole that they can exploit.
Well, Jews, man. What did you expect?
Ogre's not here to defend himself. That's not fair.
No. Look, when I talk to my wife and I mention Jews, she looks at me like, you can't say that. I'm like, babe.
Why not?
I'm like, babe, I'm Jewish. I'm Israeli. I can say whatever the fuck I want.
It's literally the gay people allowed to say fag argument.
Look, she's Catholic, so I get her trepidation every now and again, but it's like, you know what? Who cares? I don't care.
And to me, Jew is a funny fucking word.
Yeah.
It sounds funny.
Yes.
So yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, like I said, at least somebody's here to defend the Jewish faith, even if they're making fun of the Jewish faith. Anyway. So, I'm dude. I'm starting to fucking get hot in here.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out too because I have some shit to do around the house. But thank you for coming, man. I really hope we can do this again. Thank you everybody who came over to watch this live stream, this infernal shit show. I really
it was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. I really appreciate everybody who came. Sorry if I wasn't that responsive to the chat because I was trying to focus on figuring this whole machine out. But yeah, thanks everybody. I'm the Finer Print. This is Manic Idiot. Peace.
Bye.